Good evening, everybody. It's 7 p.m., Monday, September 29th, 2025, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the Intergovernmental Relations Committee. I just want to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe we have 5, 6 people. Let me just read this notice. It's a notice of public hearing. In accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, which extends the Governor's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20, until June 30th, 2027, this public hearing and meeting will be conducted both in person and virtually via Google Meets. Again, this public hearing will be conducted both in person and virtually. It's being held by the Intergovernmental Relations Committee to hear and discuss a special town meeting article listed on the agenda. This meeting may be recorded and may be broadcasted live over SMAC, which is StoughtonTV.com, and or recorded for later broadcast and internet access. On the agenda, to participate in the public hearing with Google Meet, the URL is on the agenda. To join the public hearing by telephone, it's 786-886-2499, and the PIN is 537-474-20. £8. Agenda items may be taken out of order at the chairperson's discretion. Votes may be taken on recommending the article to the special town meeting. I call the meeting to order. Please rise if you are able to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Please be seated. Okay, I'm going to need to take roll call. When I announce your names, just say present. Kim Leonard. Thank you. Just use the microphone.
Present.
Thank you. Martha Sampson. Thank you. Melissa Lynch.
Present.
Thank you. Alicia Rinaldi. Jay Mallon.
Present.
Thank you. Janice Schneider.
Present.
Thank you. Chennai Mungal Singh. I believe she said she wouldn't be able to make it tonight. And Frank Lyons.
Present.
Thank you. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we only need 5 to make the quorum, so we do have a quorum. Thank you all for coming this evening. I should also say Katie Fogarty from the Town Clerk's office is taking minutes this evening. She's online. And as we discuss things this evening, please state your name and speak clearly and loudly so she can hear who's making motions, who's making recommendations, and so forth. And Katie will speak up if you didn't hear anything or didn't get the right name on something that comes across here. All right, first order of business is, since we do have a quorum, is reorganization of the committee. Do I have a motion for anybody for chairperson? Frank Lyons was chair last time. If he's interested, would anybody like to nominate Frank? Don't want to put anybody's words in your mouth. Go ahead. Just state your name.
Kim Leonard, and
Go ahead, speak up nice and loud into the microphone.
Kim Leonard, and I'll nominate Frank. I'm not sure what I
Okay,
need to say.
thank you. Any other nominations for chair? Hearing none. Do I have a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Who said that? Janice Schneider, so moved to close nominations. Thank you, Janice. Okay, all those, there's only one person nominated here this evening for chair of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee. That's Frank Lyons. All those in favor, because we're online here, I need to do roll call. All those in favor, I'm going to just say yes. Kim Leonard.
Yes.
This is to elect Frank as chair. Martha Sampson. Yes. Thank you. Melissa Lynch.
Yes.
Thank you. Jay Mallon.
Yes.
Thank you. Janice Schneider.
Yes.
Thank you. Frank Lyons.
Yes.
Thank you. Congratulations, Frank. You're chair again this year for another year.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, you want to take over? Okay. Can I get a motion to open this public hearing?
Motion to open the hearing. Frank Lyon.
Frank Lyons, made by Frank Lyons. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Who seconded it?
Jay
James.
Mallon.
Jay Mallon? Okay. Okay, by roll call vote. Kim Leonard? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Thank you. Martha Sampson? Thank you. Melissa Lynch?
Yes.
Thank you. Alicia Rinaldi, not here. Jay Mallon?
Yes.
Thank you. Janice Schneider?
Yes.
Thank you. Janai Mangelsink? Not here. And Frank Lyons?
Yes.
All right. The public hearing is now open. Do you want to read? Yep. First one up is Article 2. Go ahead, Frank.
Yep. First up is Article 2, to adopt MGL Chapter 200A, Section 9A, relating to the disposition of abandoned funds held in custody of the town.
All right. Hi, Mark. Could you introduce yourself to the committee and to the audience, please?
Yes, sir. Mark Tisdale, Assistant Town Manager, Town Engineer. First of all, congratulations on your chairmanship, Frank.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody else, for volunteering your time tonight, being here, everybody online, everybody here. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. This article, I believe you have one article assigned to you tonight. It is a housekeeping article. It's Article 2, adopt MGL Chapter 200A, Section 9A. The best way to explain this article is it's very similar to what like the private sector does with like mass money. You know, if there's unclaimed funds, your money goes to that mass money account and you can claim it through that. This is for a town. So for the town cuts various checks to different people for various reasons. For some reason or other, people don't cash their checks. So what this allows the town to do is, after a series of notifications and public advertisement and things of that nature, allows the town to keep the funds and put it into the general fund. And it takes a period of years, about 3 years, for that to happen. Like I said, and it's also after a series of notifications and public advertisements and things like that. Be happy to answer any questions.
Announcement. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to make an announcement with those people who just joined online or just came in to the room here this evening. We're first going to hear Intergovernmental Relations Committee at 7 p.m. They have one article this evening. Should be relatively short. And then we'll go to the Municipal Operations Committee meeting after this one's completed. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. Go ahead. Thank you.
So anybody have any questions? Okay, I'm not hearing anybody. I do. Go ahead,
Hi,
Janet.
Frank. It's Janice. I have a couple of questions through you to Mr. Tisdale. Hello?
Yep, go right ahead.
Thanks, Mark. These may be basic questions, but first of all, when would this go into effect?
This would, after town meeting votes this in, I believe it goes to the Attorney General, and then once they sign off on it, it gets into effect. So it's usually about, I think, 60 or 90 days from town meeting.
Okay. And then it says there shall be an alternate procedure. Does that procedure have to be ginned up before we vote, or does it sort of happen like if we pass it and then town staff gin up the procedure and it sort of happens at the same time? How does that work?
Well, the alternate procedure is currently in place. Essentially, if the check is cut, it sits in one of our accounts for a very long time until it's claimed. But
So this shortens the time. Sorry, I cut you off. This shortens the time.
it shortens the time, and it also allows us to notify the person we cut the check to several times, put a public advertisement procedure in place. And if they don't come and claim their check, then it goes into our general fund instead of just sitting in a random account that we have.
Okay. And it says, let's see, the instrument shall say void if not cashed within a year. Do our checks already say that?
I believe checks of, I'm not the finance director, but I think they're void after 6 months. So this, if you cut the check twice, that 1 year would come up. And that happens quite often, if you can believe it or not.
Okay. I'm just going by the language in the section. It says, shall bear upon its face void if not cashed within a year. I'd hate to trip over language.
Yeah, so I think I misspoke. I said 3 years, and you may be correct. It's 1 year. When I said 6 months, that's usually the time period of a check, and that's different than the amount of time that we have to actually go through this process and notifying everybody that their funds are available. Again, you could have a check expire, and then on month 9, come in here and say, I got a notification to claim my funds. Come in here and we cut you another check.
Okay, but do the checks say void if not cashed within a year?
The checks say 6 months, our checks.
Okay, would we have to then change the language on the check to say void if not cashed within a year? Would we have to go through the administration of changing language on the check?
That, I believe, I'd have to ask my finance director. I believe that's standard practice, and it could be, an MGL law that checks are voided after 6 months. But I'd have to get back to you on that, Janice.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's all my questions, Frank. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I do have a couple of questions. What's been happening to that money prior to this? And how much money are we talking about? Is it just since 17 whatever, when the town was founded, now there's $2 billion in there?
No, I don't think there's that. Thanks for the question. I don't think there's that much money. I don't know the balance of those funds. I'd have to talk to the finance director. But for example, on something that I'm close to is a lot of the traffic projects that we work on. If there's some work being done on somebody's property, even if it's temporary in nature, there's an appraisal done, and maybe there's $600 of damages that are awarded to people because we did a little bit of work on their property temporarily. We notify those people probably 3 to 4 times with certified mail. Some people still don't come in and claim their check. So it just literally, those funds just stay there in what we call a tailings account, and there's no process to move those funds. This allows us to move those funds into our general fund.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, oops, I'm playing with my button here. Yeah, if you could find that out for town meeting, I think people will probably ask. Also, what would happen, 1 year, 3 year, whatever, it's, you offered me my $600, I never responded. It's beyond the expiration date. All right, can I come back and say, oh, I didn't know I had $600 and still get it, or is it, I'm out of luck?
Remember, so this is after a series of notifications and public advertisement that the funds are there. So once the funds get deposited into the general fund, after that year, the funds are gone.
Okay, that's it for me. Sorry, I'm getting my on-off button backwards here. I believe Melissa has a question.
Yes, thank you. Mark, is there a reason why it doesn't follow the mass abandoned property process instead of it just being put into the general fund?
Could you elaborate on the details of that, Melissa? I'm not familiar.
So mass abandoned property, so when a banking institution over a period of time, they can't just put that monies back into the pot that then becomes part of the general fund or any fund. They have to then put it with the state and file it with the state for mass abandoned property. And that's like all the commercials you hear about, go look up your social security number, and you could have a check there from 5 years ago that you never cashed, but if you provide all the backup to the, I believe it's the Secretary of State or the Secretary of the Treasurer, you then are able to still recuperate those funds. So why is that process different than this specific process?
Yeah, so that's a good question, Melissa. I'd have to get the exact answer for you, but I do remember in a finance committee meeting that finance committee meeting, our finance director compared this to what the private sector does with mass money. So that follows the exact same process you've just described. I believe it goes through after a series of notifications and steps, it goes into that account, mass money, and when you look up your name, sometimes you just got money just sitting there for you. For municipalities, it doesn't follow that process. It would follow this process. The reason why, I don't know. We could get back to you on that, but
Yeah,
that
I think that's a big part of this picture, because I would think that it's still the consumer's funds, it's still the constituents' funds. So I don't know how that gets lumped back into general fund, general use. So I would definitely need that clarification to feel comfortable.
that sounds proper, Melissa. Makes sense.
Thank you.
Okay, that did tickle something in my head, though. I'm assuming, because this is, Chapter 200A, Section 9A, that this is typically being done by other communities, that we're not going out on a limb and doing something strange that's inconsistent.
Yeah, this is very typical of other communities. It's odd that we haven't adopted this yet. Like I said, it's normally a housekeeping type of situation. I'm not the expert into some of the questions that Melissa asked. She asked some great questions. But this isn't something that's unique or special. This is a mass general law that many towns have adopted.
Okay, so this is consistent with what other towns would be doing,
Correct.
which might be a little bit different than what a bank has to do.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anybody else for questions online from the committee? Okay, since it's a public hearing, we have to open up to the public. We will open to the public. Anybody from the public in the auditorium here first, in the Great Hall? Seeing none. Anybody online from the public? Hearing none, seeing none, nobody raised their hand out there. Mr. Chairman, if there's no further questions from the committee, you can ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
Could I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing.
By Jay Mallon. Just need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Kim Leonard. All right, we have to do a roll call vote since we're online. Kim Leonard, I need a yes or a no.
Yes.
Thank you. Martha Sampson? Thank you. Melissa Lynch?
Yes.
Thank you. And I should say Alicia Rinaldi's online. Alicia, can I get a yes or no from you?
Yes.
Thank you. Jay Mallon?
Yes.
Thank you. Janice Schneider?
Yes.
Thank you. And Janai is not here. Frank Lyons?
Yes.
Thank you. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's unanimous. The public hearing is now closed. Now, Mr. Chair, if you could want to discuss the article, you either you can discuss it and then down the line make a motion to recommend approval or refer to town meeting or disapprove the article to town meeting. Those
Okay.
three options.
Okay, thank you. So, I don't know, does anybody have any discussions, thoughts, recommendations they'd like to share?
Frank, if I might,
Sure.
I think.
Excuse
I'm
me,
gonna-
Janice, is that you? I assume Janice Schneider?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Janice Schneider. My concern is we still don't have some of our answers. Mark has said he would find the answer for town meeting, so that is my concern. I think it's probably a good idea, but I'd like to have answers to the questions before I vote.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? And if you'd like to say something, just announce your name so it can be recorded.
It's Melissa Lynch. I second Janice's feedback. Getting those answers is, while I think other municipalities may have this implemented, we need to understand how it will be implemented and how that process flows.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else?
Alicia Rinaldi, I am in agreement with that plan. I think it sounds like a good idea, like from what I've heard. However, I do think I'd like to hear more at town meeting and have the town meeting, hopefully at town meeting, we'll have more questions answered.
All right, thank you. Anyone else?
Jay Mallon. After reading the language of the section, it's pretty cut and dry. It goes through the process of how the disbursement would work. So I have no problem with recommending it forward today. It's pretty cut and dry. It gives ample time for the claimant to get their money, and then it's very time effective for the town to reclaim that if nobody claims it.
Okay, thank you very much. I guess Janice has her hand raised?
Yes, I know we've closed time for questions, but this is a procedural question actually for Mr. Mullen. Can we, if this thing goes to town meeting and town meeting votes against it, which I don't think they will, but can we do it at a future time?
Can we do it, your question is, can we do it at a future town meeting?
Yeah, if we don't do it this time, can we do it at another time?
The select board or someone has to put it on the warrant. They would have to
Okay.
just do the whole nother process.
All right, thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right, thanks. Anybody else have their hand raised?
Melissa Lynch?
All right, Melissa?
Yeah, I just want to clarify, my question isn't necessarily around the 1-year time frame that's outlined. My question is around why it's different from the mass abandoned property laws for everything else. If you closed if you had monies left over from an insurance company claim or something. I just am trying to understand that delineation. Because it sounds like funds just go back into the town general fund after a year. So that's really a question I just need answered in order to move forward.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have their hands raised? All right, now I have a question to Bob. Now, if we were to put a note, I know in the past that we've put notes from the committee, because I think people in general think this is a good idea, but just would like a little bit more information. So could it be possible that we could come up with a set of additional information and questions we'd like answered prior to town meeting and write that down and then vote in favor to recommend it and just say that, we're assuming that these questions would be answered?
And the issue we have is it has to go into the Finance Committee book. So there's not really, if you want to continue this meeting till October 6th, next Monday,
Yeah.
but,
But I thought we could just put a
well,
comment.
you can put comments.
Yeah,
but
that's
you-
what I mean.
Well, okay, but you ask questions.
Well, I mean, the comment would be,
Yeah,
we're
you put in
assuming.
comments.
The comment would be worded, assuming that the following is provided.
Right.
All right, so that's our comment, and then we could recommend it. And
Yeah.
I don't know if the other people on the committee would like that, but I think, I'm trying to cover both bases here.
Right.
That I think in general, we support it, but, in my mind, a town's not a bank. I have a background in insurance and finance, and I know everybody's got different rules. So I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But if somebody from finance or something could expand on that when you make your presentation to town meeting, I think that would address some of the concerns people have.
Frank, answer your question directly is if you can do the comment tonight, so we make sure that you vote on
Oh,
what
yeah.
the comment is. we
Yeah,
get
I'm
into the-
thinking in the next 3 minutes, because
Okay.
I feel for Cynthia. I know she's got
Yeah, we got to
some
keep
tight
moving on.
deadlines.
I wonder if we would be able to refer to town meeting.
Well,
with the-
personally, I'd prefer to recommend it. That's why I'm doing a little dance, because I can't believe that we don't already have something like this. And, once again, I have a little bit of a financial background, and this just sounds sloppy, what we're doing now. So it should get cleaned up. I think people have legitimate concerns, but I don't necessarily share those concerns. I think were the treasurer here, she could address that stuff. But I just want to make sure before I even go down this path that it's okay with Bob that we make a comment.
Well, it's okay, if it's okay with the committee, make a
Oh,
comment.
yeah, I just want to make
you
sure
gotta
it's
vote.
legit before we.
I think someone should make a motion to, whichever way you want to go, either approve, recommend the town meeting, disapprove the town meeting, or refer the town meeting, and then put your comment in.
Okay.
But you definitely have to take a vote, which way
Oh,
the
yeah.
committee wants to
Yeah.
go.
So just to the committee in general, does that sound okay for you guys? Because I'm a little more, I'm a little uncomfortable with not making a recommendation because I think the current practice really should be addressed. I think there were a couple of concerns, but I think they could be addressed in a comment. So could anybody on the committee offer any insight on that, or should I just drop this and go for a straight vote? Or is there a way to kind of?
I want
Can I
to make
make,
it.
may I make a motion?
Sure.
It's Janice Schneider, and I moved that we refer the article to town meeting pending responses to the questions raised tonight.
Okay, so she made the motion, so what should
To
I do?
refer, not to recommend.
Okay, so motion by Janice Schneider to refer the town meeting pending responses to the questions. What was the rest of it, Janice?
To the questions asked tonight.
Asked tonight. Is there a second?
Second from Melissa Lynch.
Okay, Melissa Lynch seconded that. Any further discussion on this before we take a vote?
Well, okay, I'm not in favor of that, so I'm going to vote against it. I think we should refer it to, not refer it, that we should recommend it to town meeting. Because I think that the level of inappropriateness of what we're doing now rises higher than the clarifications people were asking for. But that's my only comment. We can move forward with a vote.
Okay, you're the chair, too.
Okay, so what do I say?
I,
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
so I feel like I would like to know why it's treated differently than all the other abandoned property. I think Melissa's point is a good one, so I would feel reluctant personally to recommend something until I feel like I have a fuller picture. So I like Janice's motion, just to refer and put a note in, even if we say, we're inclined to vote favorably if we knew more information. I think that is where I'm leaning.
I just want to make a comment. A lot of the process is noted within the article. If you read the section 9A, a lot of the process is noted within that. And also, after rereading the language, it looks like there's a two years before it can go back to the town, because it has to be promoted to the town, and then if it's past $100, which I assume most checks we're cutting are over $100, it has to be announced countywide, and that's another year for claimants to make that claim. So, but my main comment is that a lot of it is noted within the section of how that process works, and I'm with the chair personally. I think it's better that we just recommend it.
Well, the motion's already on the floor to refer it. So I would,
That was my comment.
okay, thank
That
you.
was my,
I think it's good, Mr. Chairman, to take the vote at this point to see if
Okay.
it's,
All right, folks. So do you want to run through the list of names? Or shall I?
sure, this is on a motion to refer to town meeting pending responses to the questions that this committee has asked this evening. So on the motion to refer, that was made by Janice Schneider. And who seconded that? Melissa
It was me,
Lynch?
Melissa Lynch.
Thank you, Melissa. Okay, on the motion to refer, I'm going to take a roll call vote. I just need a yes or a no. Motion to refer, Kim Leonard? Kim, I need your vote. Yes or no?
Yes, so you would vote no now.
No?
No. Martha Sampson? No. Melissa Lynch?
Yes.
Alicia Rinaldi,
Yes.
Jay Mallon,
No.
Janice Schneider,
Yes.
Janai's not here, Frank Lyons.
No.
No. We have 1, 2, 3 yeses, and 1, 2, 3, 4 noes. So the motion fails. So the motion to refer to town meeting has failed. Is there another motion on the floor?
I'd like to make a motion, and please help me. I want to recommend it to town meeting, that they vote in favor of it. So
The
how do I
motion
word
is to
that?
Recommend approval to town meeting.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval to town meeting.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Who's, Jay Mallon, you seconded it. Any further discussion on this before we take the vote? Okay. This is on motion to recommend approval of the town meeting. Kim Leonard,
Yes?
Martha Sampson, Melissa Lynch,
No.
Alicia Rinaldi,
No.
Jay Mallon,
Yes.
Janice Schneider,
No.
Janai's not here, and Frank Lyons.
Yes.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 yeses, 3 no. Motion is passed to recommend approval of the town meeting. All right, and did you want to put a comment?
I would like to make a comment, but I would also, once again, I know we're kind of pressed for time a little bit here.
What's the comment, though?
I would ask the folks who voted no if they would like to briefly make a suggestion on how they would like to have the comment, or if they just are against it and don't want to put something in, that's fine too.
I'll speak for myself, Melissa. I'm
Sure.
not averse to the actual article. I just think that that clarifying point is not outlined clearly in the explanation, outlined clearly in the documentation, and that answer to that question needs to be addressed at town meeting. So that would change my position if it's addressed as to why we're not just following, and that's a pretty simple, straightforward answer. So I think we're moving forward to approve it, to move this along, which is, or some did, but it's a pretty straightforward question.
Okay, so could you put that in the phrase that it might be a comment? Because I certainly would like to reflect those feelings.
I would like to suggest that approval, at least on my behalf, I would say that I felt like I didn't have enough information regarding the difference between this source of this category of funding versus general abandoned property to understand how to move forward, like before I could vote. So I'm also in the same boat that I'm likely in favor of it. I just want to understand why it's treated differently than the other abandoned property in Massachusetts. And that's where I am. But
Okay.
so I would say, like, pending further information, my vote at least reflected a lack of clarity about the
Okay, so
distinct.
might I suggest as a comment that we're assuming that the treasurer, I think, would be the one that would answer these, right? All right, that with the assumption is, our comment is, we are assuming that the treasurer will provide additional information on why this is being treated differently than, what is it, Mass Found Cash or whatever, the website, all right, than
Mass
other,
abandoned property.
I'm sorry,
It's mass abandoned property.
yeah, mass abandoned property. All right, so, even though we agreed to disagree on this one, hopefully by putting that comment in, we can kind of reach common ground. Is that okay, that comment, Bob?
It's up to the committee. We'll have to vote on that comment. So your comment is in the, that will go in the Finance Committee book, assuming treasurer will provide additional information regarding how this is different than the mass abandoned property guidelines, I guess.
Yep, that sounds good to me. So unless anybody has,
Well, we got to move on, so.
okay, so we make a motion to put that in?
Okay, Frank Lyons made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jay Mallon. Let's just take a vote on that so we have that official. I need a yes or a no for that comment. Kim Leonard,
Yes.
Martha Sampson? That was a yes. Melissa Lynch?
Yes.
Thank you. Elisa Rinaldi?
Yes.
Thank you. Jay Mallon?
Yes.
Thank you. Janice Schneider?
Yes.
Thank you. Janai's not here. And Frank Lyons?
Yes.
Thank you all. All right, that concludes the articles. Next, we just need a motion to adjourn the intergovernmental relations meeting. Can I get a motion?
Motion to adjourn the intergovernmental relations meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Melissa Lynch.
Second by Martha, is it?
Melissa.
Oh, Melissa? Well, Martha was here present. You probably didn't hear her, Melissa. Sorry.
Yeah, we haven't been able to hear Martha through the computer.
Has your microphone been on there, Martha? You got to press the green button. Bring it closer. Okay, you second it. Okay, Martha seconded. I need a yes or a no vote to adjourn this meeting. Kim Leonard?
Yes.
Thank you. Martha Sampson? Yes. Yes from Martha. Melissa Lynch?
Yes.
Thank you. Alicia Rinaldi?
Yes.
Thank you. Jay Mallon?
Yes.
Thank you. Janice Schneider?
Yes.
Thank you. Janai's not here. And Frank Lyons?
Yes.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you for attending. It's 7:36. This meeting of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee is now adjourned, 7:36 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're ready to start the next meeting. Municipal Operations Committee. All right. All the Municipal Operation Committee people in the Great Hall, you're sitting up here, correct? Okay, can we have some quiet in the hall, please? Okay, we're ready to start the meeting. Can we have some quiet in the hall, please? Thank you. Please take the conversations outside in the stairway or the hallway. Thank you. Next up is the Municipal Operations Committee. Thank you all for your patience. We're starting a little late. Cynthia Walsh, did you want to take over?
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 7:40. Then I'll call the roll.
Okay, want me to read the notice first?
It's kind of dark in here.
Put your light on, there you go.
So do you want me to read the in accordance with?
Want me to read it?
If you wouldn't mind,
Sure. I'll read it for you, Cynthia, not a problem. All right, good evening, everybody. This is the Municipal Operations Committee meeting, Monday, September 29th. It's was scheduled for 7:15 p.m. It's 7:40 p.m. We're at the Great Hall, third floor, Town Hall. It's a notice, let me read the notice of the public hearing. It's in person and virtual meeting online. In accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, which extends the Governor's March 12, 2020, order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, Master General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20, until June 30th, 2027, this public hearing and meeting will be conducted both in person and virtually via Google Meets. Again, this public hearing will be conducted both in person and virtual. Being held by the Municipal Operations Committee on this evening, Monday, September 29th, to discuss the special town meeting articles that are listed below on the agenda. This meeting is being recorded and may be broadcasted live or streamed over SMAC, StoughtonTV.com, and/or recorded for later broadcast and internet access. On the agenda to participate in this public hearing, it shows the URL for Google Meets. And to join this public hearing by phone, it's 786-886-2499, and the PIN you must enter is 537-474-2999. 208 Palm. Agenda items may be taken out of order at the chairperson's discretion. Votes may be taken on recommending articles to the special town meeting. The chairperson has called the meeting to order, and if you're able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance for this meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Please be seated. First up is the reorganization of the committee. In the past, Cynthia Walsh was chair. Thank you, Cynthia, for being chair. Is there a motion for anybody to make a?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Cynthia Walsh for chair.
Okay, motion's been, okay, thank you both. Motion's been made by David Lurie and seconded by John Stefano.
Nominations do not need to be seconded.
Okay, well, it was a second. Okay, any other nominations? Hearing none, do I have a motion to close nominations?
I make a motion to close nominations.
Second.
Okay, made and seconded. All right. On the motion, I got to take a roll call vote to close nominations. Cheryl Iverson, yes or no?
Yes.
John Stefano, Cynthia Walsh,
Oh, yes.
Scott Heller,
Yes.
thank you. Peter Machula,
Yes.
thank you. David Lurie,
Yes.
thank you. Patricia McCormick,
Yes.
thank you. Christine Wilbur,
Yes.
thank you. And Noah B. Haran.
Beit Aharon, yes.
I can't, one more time, Noah?
Beit Aharon.
Beit
You can
Ahon.
say Beit Aharon.
Okay,
It's
Beit
easier.
Haron. All right, thank you. Sorry, Noah. I'll work on that. All right, that's the closing nominations. Okay, on the motion to nominate Cynthia Walsh as chair, again, a yes or a no. Cheryl Iverson,
Yes.
thank you. John Stefano, thank you. Cynthia Walsh,
Yes.
thank you. Scott Heller,
Yes.
thank you. Peter Machula,
Yes.
thank you. David Lurie,
Yes.
thanks. Patricia McCormick,
Yes.
thank you. Christine Wilbur,
Yes.
thank you. And Noah, I'm just going to say Noah.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is unanimous. All right. Miss Cynthia Walsh, would you like to take over this meeting? You need a motion to open the public hearing when you're ready.
I have a few words.
Sure.
The first is words are to thank you and to say that I've been on this committee about 35 years. I can't remember 9 members being present. And most of you are physically here, so please, I appreciate your time. On a point of personal privilege, I want to thank the firefighters of Engine 1 for responding to my call yesterday afternoon. Because of my distress and embarrassment, I believe I neglected to thank you. So on behalf of my family and myself, thank you very much for responding and enabling me to be here. Now I need a motion to open the public hearing, please.
Motion to open the public hearing.
It was by Dave Lurie. I'm just going to ask everybody, when you do make motions or discuss, just please state your...
I'm sorry.
It's all right,
Yeah.
Dave. I already announced
Yeah.
who you were. But just so the person online, Katie, can get your name.
Yeah, they need
For the
name
records.
tags for muni ops. I think we're ready for name tags, just like
Okay.
finance.
Sounds good.
Do we
So
need
we
a
had a
second?
motion to open the public hearing by David Lurie. Is there a second?
I'll
Cynthia
second.
Walsh, second.
Go ahead.
Cynthia Walsh? Okay.
It's okay. You can second.
I don't need
I don't need the glory.
All right. It was made, motion to open the public hearing made by Dave Lurie, seconded by Cynthia Walsh. I'm just going to take roll call, Cynthia, if you don't mind.
Of course not.
On the motion to open the public hearing, I just need a yes or a no. Cheryl Iverson?
Yes.
Thank you. John DeStefano? Thank you. Cynthia Walsh?
Yes.
Thanks. Scott Heller?
Yes.
Thank you. Peter Machula?
Yes.
Thank you. Dave Laurie?
Yes.
Thank you. Patricia McCormick?
Yes.
Thank you. Christine Wilbur?
Yes.
Thank you. And Noah?
Yes.
Yes, okay. The public hearing is now open. Cynthia, do you want to take over?
Yes. The first thing is, the moderators informed me if we don't finish tonight, then we have to come back Monday. I already have 2 meetings scheduled for Monday. And I realize we're off to a late start. And I also realize we have 12 articles. I'm hoping we can get through the hearing and through the votes tonight. If it's impossible, then that's the way life is. I'll be here on Monday. Could we have the petitioners for Article 6, please? And the procedure is that the petitioners make their presentation, the committee gets to ask questions, then we go to the public, and then we will go on to the next article. Okay. Because you can't have too many copies of the warrant. Thank you.
By the way, excuse me, Cynthia, it's Dave Lurie. I just wanted to comment that if you felt that you wanted to take articles out of order because they're a priority for you, in the event that we have to move the meeting, feel free to
No,
do that.
I will
Yeah.
never be in such a hurry that I will skip around and make some people wait who wouldn't normally have to wait. But thank you for the suggestion. Article 6, water main improvements. Would you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Mark Tisdale, Assistant Town Manager, Town Engineer. With me is Keith Natasha. He's the Water Superintendent. Article 6 is the water main replacements article. Most of you may be familiar with this. The last 2 or 3 years, we've been hitting up our water infrastructure pretty hard. This is just a continuation of that process. I won't steal Keith's thunder, but essentially, we're just the town has prioritized our water infrastructure for a number of reasons. The state requirements for PFAS is one thing, so that's water treatment side. And then the distribution side for the water pipes is obviously, you can spend all these millions of dollars on treating PFAS, but if you can't distribute it properly throughout the town, then that's an issue, obviously. So I'll let the detail of the article be explained by Keith.
Thank you, Mark. Keith Nastasia, Water and Sewer Superintendent. This article is for another phase of water main replacement. It's replacing our old aging cast iron water mains. We've had numerous water main breaks for this particular article, and we're targeting these areas to continue on with improving our infrastructure and coordination with the highway superintendent as well with his roads paving projects too. That we try to get in there to replace water mains before the roads are paved.
Thank you. Questions for members of the committee? Mr. Laurie?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, through you to the, what was the name again? I always forget the names.
It's Keith.
Keith, thank you,
Yeah.
Keith. Yeah. I just want to make sure everybody understands, we have 2 sources of water in the town, correct? We have the MWRA as well as our wells. So we could either put more use on the state source or our own local source. So these parts that you maintain, regardless of the source, these have to be done, correct?
Correct, yes, it's 100%, it's our water infrastructure. And just elaborate off what you said, 97% of the water that is consumed, we make it ourselves.
That's all I had, Madam Chair.
Anyone else from the committee?
I have a question.
John, did you have a question? Pardon me? Oh. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Noah.
Noah Beit Aharon. For the benefit of those watching online, I'm in a bright red shirt, and I have a question for Keith. Where sort of are we in the process of replacing our town's water mains? Like, is this something where we only replace them at the pace at which new maintenance requires us to continue replacing them, or is this like a multi-year project that we're nearly completed and then we won't have to do it for some amount of time?
We have 151 miles of water main, so to replace it all would be financially astronomical, and time-wise would just be a very long time. This phase right here is just a little bit over a mile, and we had an epic year last year. We replaced 2.5 miles of water main. That's a huge project. But, usually doing around a mile a year, or each phase is where we are. Of the 151 miles, 60% of it is cast iron, which is 1945-ish area. 50 years is the average life of a water main, and there are water mains out there that are 100 years old that are still intact. But it's the areas that we have a lot of breaks is what we are targeting. We are currently, the phase that we're doing right now, while we're having this conversation is underway, we're in the last segment of it. That's asbestos pipe. We're required by DEP to get, every town, every municipality is required to get asbestos pipe out. We're on the last segment, and all our asbestos pipe is gone. So it's a huge accomplishment for the town, because we have till 2032, but we're way ahead of the game on that. And that's with, support from the town to keep up with this program.
Thank you so much for that answer.
Anyone else from this side? Over here? John, would you use the mic, please? Okay. What about you, Scott, on the wall?
Still on the wall, but no question.
What was that, Scott?
I said no questions.
Okay. So we're ready to go on to the next article, which is Article 7 with the petitioners.
All right, Mark Tisdale, Assistant Town Manager, Town Engineer. Article 7's our annual roadway paving article. Again, we have the department head here with us tonight for the detailed questions. But essentially, the town has prioritized our infrastructure, not just the water, but our roadway paving, which are the two key parts. And there is a process that, Mr. Jaffoon and Mr. Natasha have been putting in place the last couple of years. They get together on every project, every roadway in town, and they make sure that we're not paving a roadway first on a road that has a water pipe that needs to be replaced. So they replace the water pipe first, and then they pave the road, so there's no ripping up the road and wasting money. I'll hand the article over to Paul to get into a little more detail.
Thanks, Mark. Paul Jaffoon, Public Works. Like Mark said, excuse me, and Keith said just a minute ago, the coordination for all the underground work to take place first is a must, and I think we've been doing a decent job at that. And the list that you have in front of you, I believe, shows roadways that have recently had water, gas, drainage work, etc., and or other projects we've done in town that have torn up roadways or sidewalks. So now it's time to complete the project by finishing the roadways, whether it's curb work, sidewalk work, drainage work, again, all the above.
Thank you. Questions from the committee? Yes.
Cheryl Iverson. I saw on the list Pleasant and Pine intersection, but don't we have another project ongoing for that intersection to redo the crosswalks? So is this duplicate, or is this our part of that project?
It's a good question. Part of the initial phase of that project would include curbing and sidewalk work at the intersection directly, but not necessarily the complete sidewalk work, where we would like to go all the way up further up, closer to 139. But yes, part of this project entails part of that project.
Anyone on this side? John?
Yeah, John Stefano. Am I correct in saying that the town is not responsible for state highway work, such as Route 138, 27?
Yes.
Am I correct in saying that? Okay, thank you.
Anyone else from the committee? Yes, David?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you, David Lurie. And the last hearing that you guys presented on this, well, first of all, this is absolutely, is 100% this is needed, and the way you go about it, you know, with the water infrastructure, all that's great. The concern that I had, which I got corrected, I learned new information, had to do with, I think the big change, the big, like, you know, what's going to happen in the next year or so, it's going to be North Stoughton. You know, let's face it, there's a lot of trucks. We're going to anticipate hundreds, I think, is what they projected. In that you're putting extra reinforced material, digging deeper, putting extra layers, doing a lot of work to reinforce Page Street. And I think the only thing that was interesting to me was is that how you corral those trucks to just stay on the roads that are being reinforced. I don't know how that's ever, I thought they could just roam anywhere they want, but apparently they're going to stick to that building and onto the highway, and they're going to stay either on, I guess, Page to 139 or Page down to Avon or something, but they're only going to, they're going to take over a very short piece of Stoughton. They're not going to be roaming around damaging roads in other areas of the town. Is that what I?
It's fair to say.
Is that fair to say? Okay, I just wanted to say that because I learned from the last hearing. I just want to make sure.
And just for the public's information, we did begin that road work today on the, I guess it would be southbound side of the logistics park side only. So we tore that up, tore the existing asphalt up. They started regrading it today. They'll pave that binder course, and then they'll move over, tear up the other side of the road. Should take about 6-7 more days or so.
So we get the you know, the goodness that comes from a great project without a lot of impact is really at the long and short of it. Right, that's the good news. Thank you.
Anyone else from the committee? Scott?
No, all set.
And on the last article, I neglected to ask the audience. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak or have a question on Article 7? Okay, seeing none, on to Article 8, purchase of sidewalk tractor.
Thank you. No one has to move. I can speak on this one too. So I believe it was our second oldest sidewalk tractor was involved in a motor vehicle accident with an employee in it, actually. So, and the other party was at fault. So this article is to replace that sidewalk tractor and all of its accessories. The accessories include like snow blowers, snow plows, what they call a boom flail to get the brush off the side of the road, cut back for visibility, things like that, extra set of wheels. So right now, our insurance company is in communication with the at-fault driver's insurance company. We don't know if we will be reimbursed 100% for the replacement cost of this piece of equipment. That's why we asked for it here today. This is certainly a necessary piece of equipment, especially with the winter looming. But if and when we do, whatever we get reimbursed for, the difference of that will, I'm not sure how this is being paid actually, but the difference of that will be taken into consideration.
I think Paul was point on. We don't get the full replacement value necessarily. So if we get partial replacement, the worst-case scenario is that we use a small part of the article to supplement the insurance reimbursement. I think the whole amount's in here more from a safety factor because we don't know when we're going to get the check from the insurance, and it's pretty much October. So
But
we don't
isn't it
expect-
also true that whatever we get from the insurance company goes into the general fund? It doesn't go back to Public Works?
Correct, it will go right into the general fund.
Yeah. Any questions from the committee? Yes. Did you raise your hand? Okay. Over here?
Yeah.
David?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I think, if I'm hearing right, that if the insurance money comes into the general fund, but the town meeting is after that transaction, that we can still use this article to get be made whole from that insurance. The insurance claim should make us whole as an appropriation at town meeting, no? If we get it beforehand.
If we get it beforehand, correct. If we don't get it beforehand, then we would utilize the article to pay for the tractor, and then if we got reimbursed afterwards, that money would go into the general fund.
So the worst-case scenario is that we pay for it out of the general fund, but then the general fund gets paid back. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Right.
Because it's general fund, general fund.
So if we get a check from the insurance company for $100,000 before town meeting, we would only ask town meeting for the difference, the 120, out of the 220.
Right.
Or the whole thing and then get reimbursed after, and then the general fund just gets reimbursed.
Right.
If you've ever dealt with an insurance company, there's no such word as speedy. It could take up to a year.
Well, I think, Madam Chair, is that it becomes what pot does it come from, right? They're going to use stabilization money. They're going to put the money into there's going to be a discussion about how to take the money in.
Okay,
as reserve or not.
Scott?
No questions.
Anyone in the audience with a question on a sidewalk tractor? Okay, we'll move on to Article 9. Unforeseen repairs and furniture, fixtures, and equipment for community center. And pardon me while I choke.
Thank you. So we received a $2 million grant from the state to rehab the interior and do some also repointing of the exterior masonry work at what is formerly known as the Stoughton Railroad Station, what will be known as the community center. So we had that $2 million from the state. We also got a state earmark for just under $150,000. We had some existing CPC funding. So the long and short of it is, there were some change orders for some unforeseen stuff that really were unforeseen. Tearing out some of the old bathroom wall paneling to find that the interior repointing of the clock tower was necessary. Some wood that was rotted and some crawl spaces that wasn't seen, some knob and tube wiring in the attic. All that, plus the addition of, plus the realization that we need to furnish the place once it's open, and, make it a habitable space where people want to go, where the community deserves to have a finished place. All adds up to the ask of $350,000 before you guys and before town meeting.
Thank
Be
you.
happy to answer any questions, of course.
Questions? David?
Oh, do you want to take, no?
You can go first if you like.
Well, we're working our way around, and I'll try to remember to start.
No problem.
All right, through you, Madam Chair, thank you. Dave Lurie. And so the $350,000, how much of, this is on top of a $2 million grant, right? There's an economic development grant that paid for a big chunk of, there's a lot of work going on right now.
Correct.
And it's almost, and you're almost done. And then this is going to take care of everything at that's not done from the grant? Is this going to, how much is not going to be done, I guess is a better question.
Just the exterior hardscape and landscaping, but we do have a current application to the CPC for that funding come annual town meeting.
Okay, yeah, they can do exterior stuff, right? That's from what I remember. Yeah, the CPC can do exterior.
Yes.
How, do you happen to know how we're doing with collecting the funds from the state grant? Has it been coming in as you've been doing the project? Have we received the money already, or is it?
Yes, I believe we've submitted 4 invoices to the state, and I believe we've received 3 reimbursements. And
3 out of the 4?
And 3 of the 4. The 4th one, I believe, was submitted last Thursday, so we won't see that probably for a little bit.
Okay, and Madam Chair, I just have one last question. There's, on the article, in the paragraph, in the first sentence, it says to raise and appropriate transfer from available funds in the treasury, if any, or borrow a sufficient sum or sums of money. But then when you go down to the proposed motion, it says building stabilization fund, and it's locked in to that as the only available source for town meeting. Will town meeting have a choice of being able to use borrowing as opposed to stabilization?
No. Because the motion is what we vote on, not the article.
And so someone would have to come up with an alternate motion in order to make that
And
different.
submit it to the moderator 48 hours in advance.
Thank you. That's all I had, Madam.
Questions over here? Yes, Noah.
I have a question about the furnishing, as it says that this money includes funds for the purchase of furniture, because having not been here at the beginning of this process, I don't know exactly what we're envisioning for the interior, and I'm curious if you can give us details about what kinds of furnishings we're talking here.
Sure. So you excuse me, you may or may not have heard the town manager speak about what his vision is for it, and I think it's a good one. And what he likes to say is that he wants it to be like a classy hotel lobby, if you will, with like couches and coffee tables, and then surrounded, on the exterior walls with pub tables and high tops and things like that.
Thank you.
Anything else, Noah?
I mean, yes, I'm interested in what kinds of events are we envisioning having in these spaces? Just because, when I think of what does the town need, I've heard maybe we need more room for bingo nights. Because the senior center space is small. What are the functions that will be using these?
It's a community center, so it might be bingo, it might be the little theater, it might be some dance school that rents the building for a show. It's for the community, so whatever the community wants is, but basically a lot of it will be chairs for audience members. If they're going to watch a recital, if they're going to watch a play, if they're going to watch a performance, and there'll be some other things. There'll have to be some tables. If there's an art fair or a pottery fair, they used to do, they actually had pie contests there. You had to,
Oh, that's fun.
the kitchen facilities will be minuscule, so you will bring your baked pie. They also used to have, decorate the interior with Christmas trees from different groups. So it'll basically be some of the, similar to what we have here, so that you can stack the chairs if you need more space.
Yeah, that kind of gets at the purpose of my question, which is that we would want any furnishings in this space to be highly mobile. We'd want it to be stackable. We'd want them presumably to have arms on the seats to make them more accessible for many people, and some seats without arms to make them more accessible, depending on people's needs
I have
and so
some
on.
good news to share. Could I share some good news? The,
Is it germane to the article?
There's 3 events that are already booked. One is an internal employee Christmas party in January. In April, on April 11th, the Little Theater of Stoughton, which I'm a member of, is booked. It's the first booking that'll be rented to use the railroad depot. And then a Christmas event will be taking place with the Little Theater as a donated event for the town as a free event in December. So there's already 3 things going on in the space.
Okay, so things that require not necessarily, maybe some couches, but mostly seating that is stackable and rearrangeable and so on.
And it is a historic building. It also was in the movie Little Women. It's actually part of the Little Women tour. So there may be, if people have a fairly small wedding, I think the capacity is about 120 or more.
I believe the capacity is 100. 100.
Yeah. So it's, the selectmen haven't constructed their policy yet, but there will be other opportunities with a fee to use the space. The idea is that it's going to be in use. It's not going to be in a lovely empty space, and fully accessible, especially the bathrooms.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I just, my concern and fear was just that knowing how expensive furniture is and how annoying it would be to be about to run an event or something and say, oh, we don't have the kind of furniture we would like to have. I just kind of wanted to hear some details on that.
The people in charge will try to think of all the different possibilities, but obviously, I mean, you can always, if you're having something special, can always rent furniture and bring it in and then take it with you when you leave. The same with food, because the kitchen will be minuscule. Most of these things will be catered.
Thank you.
If food is being served. Any members online who'd like to ask a question?
I don't see anyone, Madam
Okay.
Chair.
We'll open it up to the public. Is there anyone who has a question or comment? Anyone online, a member of the public with a question or comment? So we will move on.
None.
I guess we're up to Article 10. Repairs for ADA compliance to town buildings.
Thank you. Excuse me, the town contracted the Collins Center to study all of our buildings and their accessibility. They came up with nearly $400,000 worth of recommendations. We chose about half that amount to do this for all the repairs. First of all, feasibility, cost, and basically just feasibility and cost were the 2 main factors in which we decided to do half of the items first. All of the items are important, of course. The ones that were chosen by the staff to bring to town meeting were the most feasible and cost effective.
Thank you. On this side, any questions? Over here, any questions? Okay, I had quite a lot to say about this article at the Committee on Finance and Taxation because some of the improvements I want to see because of my disabilities aren't on the list. But I have to remember what my mother told me, the world does not revolve around Cynthia. And whatever we can do for the greatest number of folks who are living with disabilities is what we should do first. And a lot of this is bathroom. I don't know if any of you are living with a disability, but it's been an issue with me that my family takes me to a restaurant. It looks perfectly accessible, and I manage to get in, and then find out that the bathroom facilities are not accessible. And when you live with a disability and you have to ask someone to take you somewhere else to use a bathroom, it's humiliating. And the less humiliation we have for folks with disabilities, the better. A quarter of people in this town live with a disability. That's over 7,500 people. And they're not all seniors. Many of them are younger people. And so I'm glad to see the town is moving forward on the Collins study. I actually read it. I think it was 500 pages. And eventually, what I want may come to fruition. But again, whatever steps we take to help folks living with disabilities be more able to participate and not stay home and just watch cable is a good thing. On to Article 11, purchase of voting machines.
Excuse me, did you want to ask the public if they want?
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or anybody online?
I am not the public. Tonight, I'm not the public. Is there anyone in the audience or online who has a comment or question?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, both.
No one
I guess-
online, Madam Chair.
I guess Mark is here for the duration. So, Article 11, and I see that our town clerk is here with us tonight. So would you present your article, please?
Yes, so I am here tonight to request an additional 5 tabulators. Back in 2023, town meeting had approved some tabulators, and when we took possession of them this year, we realized we were 5 short. So this would just have us comply with state law, and these 5 tabulators would be for the 5 sub-precincts. And our first election will be September of 2026 that we will need these tabulators for.
Questions about the voting? Yes, John.
Yes, judging from voter turnout, do we need these 5 extra machines?
We do, because we have sub-precincts that are sub-precincts that are designated for state elections, so we wouldn't be able to run those without those 5 extra machines. So if you are in certain precincts, there's like a 4 and a 4A, we wouldn't be able to run the 4A elections. They need their own tabulators.
On this side? Online questions from the committee members?
I don't see anybody, Madam Chair.
The public, any questions about the voting machines? From the public online? Now you have a question. Noah.
Well, I'll make a brief comment just because the article says purchase of voting machines, and in case we have some people in the public who are confused, I want to make it clear that these are not the machines that you use to vote. These are the machines that will count the voting that we still do with our pens, correct?
It's all in one. So it's a voting machine tabulator. So basically you would come in, put your ballot in, the machine would take your ballot, and then it would give you results at the end of the night. It's all in one. They actually call it poll place scanner and tabulator.
Yes.
So it's like we used to have the old machines. You would just put in your ballot, and at the end of the night we would get a printout on the election results. This is the same type of thing, except it's a newer version.
Right. We are still hand marking our ballots.
Oh, yes,
They
you are. It's just scanning in. It's a new technology that they have. It's a touch screen, so it's much simpler.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And they are not connected to the internet.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, at a previous hearing, because the 2 articles are connected, we discussed 13 and 14 together. Would that be all right with you, Mr. Tisdale?
Yes, that would actually be even better.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, I think I have a problem trying to run it on mine.
We will vote
Yeah,
them
I'm gonna see if I
separately.
can get it going. You know how we work this thing?
Thank you.
If you can't, that's fine. I didn't know these were going to be available.
TJ, I do have something online here. That looks like it, right?
So, start with Article 13, and the petitioner. Would you identify yourself, please?
I think the petitioner is the select board, but for the record, my name is TJ Recupero. I'm with the School Building Committee. With me is Eric Rubin of Vertex, the owner's project manager, and of course, Dr. Baeta is in the audience also.
Well, gentlemen, if you'd like to come down and grab a couple of seats.
Madam
It
Chair.
is so, I don't know if it's just my eyesight fading, but I can barely see the back of the room.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Cynthia, John Stefano has to sit, wants to say something.
I'm going to recuse myself from the next two articles because I'm related to the person who owns Final Drive.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to recuse myself from the Articles 13 and 14.
Okay. Just sit in the audience, John. You don't have to leave the room. So I recognize Dr. Baeta and Attorney Recupero. Who, there was another person?
Eric Rubin.
Okay. Move a little closer, Eric. This thing is in the way, but if I turn out the lights, I'll really be blind. Whoever is going to make the presentation of 13, and if you have to discuss 14, that's fine too.
Yeah, I'll start off. Mark Tisdale, Assistant Town Engineer. Assistant Town Manager, Town Engineer. Again, just to recap what we're doing, Article 13 and 14, we're talking together as one because they really are one article together. The reason why they're split up is because of legal purposes. Article 13 is the acquisition of Fano Drive and 3 parcels of land. So it's Fano Drive and 3 parcels of land we're acquiring. And then Article 14 is conveyance of land, disposition of land that we own. We have to follow procurement laws for that. That's why it's a separate article by itself. So it's pretty much 13 and 14, if you want to use layman's terms, it's a land swap. But we can't use that word because there's no such legal thing in the municipal world. So it's just, for everybody here, it's easier to understand land swap. I emphasize quotation marks around that. Again, this article is on behalf of the select board. And the biggest reason for this article, it came up through the planning process, that the schools, they went through the whole permitting process, the planning process through MSBA, and it came up with a wonderful project. Honestly, a very, very well thought out process. Early on, I know they explored, I'm sure TJ will get into details in a little bit, of trying to get Fano Drive, acquiring Fano Drive. That was their priority, and for different reasons, that was just not able to happen. So they shifted gears, and they were able to shift the driveway and the road. We're going to use the word driveway and roadway interchangeably here. Essentially the same thing for all intents and purposes. They were able to shift the driveway over on their own land, but that required them to cross a massive wetland to get to the upland area of their land. Completely doable, completely permittable through DEP. But very expensive. It equated to a 300-foot long bridge. Again, On the other side, every school needs to have an emergency access, right? And you can't just have one way in, one way out. You got to have an emergency access. The same exact situation applied for the emergency access that goes onto Haynes Road. It was a paved access, very long road, and it crossed a wetland, and another bridge had to be constructed. It all worked. It would have been, you know, it would have been fine. Nobody would have ever noticed once it's open. But obviously, we're always looking to improve things, make them more efficient from a traffic flow standpoint, from a cost perspective, and just from an environmental standard, to be honest with you. If you don't have to cross wetlands and clear more trees than you need to, that's always a good thing. And that's essentially what this plan does. It acquires Fano Drive. Fano Drive is an old right-of-way. I'll let TJ, he's good at explaining what that is. That never got built. It got built to a partial standard. It's slightly paved. It's 10, 12 feet wide, poor shape. There's trees growing over it. You know, you can kind of look through it, but you're not going to pass traffic through it. But it's there. It's built. There's already a culvert going across where the stream is, so we're not building a bridge again. We're going to upgrade the culvert to comply with DEP's regulations, but we don't have to build a bridge, which is a big cost savings. A 300-foot bridge versus a concrete box culvert is a huge win. So with that, I could keep on going on and on with the geeky engineering type stuff here, but we're going to hand it over to TJ, and he can continue with the presentation.
Thanks, Joe. We passed out a presentation, very brief presentation, and if you could flip to, sorry, I'm going to, for the sake of brevity, ask you to flip to page 3, I think it is, to show you specifically what the articles are about. It's the one entitled Site Plan Land Acquisition Steps. Actually, 3, not counting the cover. And it's the one, if you look at it, has 2 wooded pictures in the lower left corner, and then on the right side of the page, there's a shot of the Stoughton Assessor's map with shaded parcels.
My apologies, I'm having a hard time trying to get to the next page. Next page here. I am trying to scroll. The scroll's not working.
Oh,
How to
yeah.
operate this? Get out of your way, yeah?
There. Yeah.
Thank you all for being patient. Right there?
No, go down, keep going one more. There.
Right there. Thank you.
So if you look at the right-hand screen, Articles 13 and 14 involve, 13 and 14, right? 13 and 14 involve, one article is the acquisition. The other article is the conveyance to the entity that owns Fano Drive, to and from the entity that owns Fano Drive, the paper street that we all know as Fano Drive, and the lots adjacent all the way continuing down to Sumner Street and what you may know now as Precision Door and Window, that building. And for those of you who remember, probably, I'm guessing, Cynthia, you can correct me, but my guess is 40 years ago, we would call that Line Lumber Road, now Fano Drive. So that we had tried, the building committee had tried for a couple months to talk with the owners of Fano Drive and the land, very cooperative and very cordial talks. We just weren't able to make a deal because the building committee we don't have any capacity to deal anything back to them. All we could do was strike a deal. I'll tell you straight out, our deal was, we'll pave the roadway if you give us rights to use it. And they had hoped to realize more from their land, and nobody could blame them. After the project was approved, through the efforts of Mark and the town manager, which was a pleasant surprise to everybody on the building committee and the project team, they were able to strike the exact same deal that we were not, which was we can exchange your land for our land, town's land, and even swap approximately the same size. I think it's 7.8 something acres and 8.3 or something, 8.8 acres. Approximately the same size. They're both fraught with certain limitations, wetlands. The town's lot is landlocked also, and theirs is also, unless you build out Fano Drive. So it seemed to be a good deal. They can take a portion of land, attach it to their existing land. We can take a portion of their land, attach it to our school parcel, and everybody wins. So if you look at the town's GIS map, and you should also note that green strip that's going through the middle, that's an electrical easement. That's a pretty significant obstacle to any development there, and it's one that the building committee faced when we were looking at that site as a potential school site. Additionally, it's got grade issues and some wetlands issues, but the green parcel is what the town is conveying to DAD LLC, the owners of the adjacent land. The pink, sort of let me call it a backward C, I guess, that wraps around the green land. That's what, strike that. The green parcel there is a portion of the town parcel that is now 15 acres. It's 8.8 approximate acres. So we're conveying a portion of that, retaining the belt around it so that we can use it for whatever, access, drainage, or some other use. Mark can correct me if I misstate that, but that was the goal, not to give the entire parcel, but retain what we might have use for in the future. And there are 3 lots that are on Fano Drive that they are conveying back to the town. And those right now are, there's no specific use attached to those, save maybe drainage. Drainage plans are actually in the works right now, but they allow us a pretty decent buffer for the school. And I think the landowners, from our discussions with them over the last 2 years, they realized that having a school next to their land actually limits their development capacity, so it's better to give them a parcel that's not right next door to a school, that hopefully they can do something useful. And the town wins, by the way, too, if they can create taxable real estate in the town of Stoughton. So that's the land transfer concept. From a school project standpoint, we're able to, as Mark pointed out, shift our entranceway, driveway from the connection at the Fano Drive site that we now own, which has 50 feet of frontage. It's narrow at the, and actually, if you can flip one page down, Bob. That plan there, it's entitled Site Plan Benefits of Land Acquisition. The yellow portions are the current approved plan and the portions of pavement of that plan that we're able to remove by virtue of using Fano Drive. It's a little less intensive on the wetlands, on the natural landscape generally. We still have a ring road around the school, but if you can see, you have to look closely, and it's not important anyway, but we're able to taper that off around the back of the school, which is a kindergarten drop-off area, streamline the entrance a little bit. It'll be twice as wide as it was now, and we won't, as Mark pointed out, need a bridge to cross wetlands. which I think, and by the way, 2 bridges. One bridge to get in from Park Street and another one to get in from Haynes Road for emergency access. And it's that second one that I always hated more, because emergency access is, by their very nature, only used in the case of an emergency, which, of course, they're necessary, but they get very infrequently used, and the cost always really grated on me. So this was a fantastic solution. And also, as Mark pointed out, you can drive on Fano Drive right now. It's sort of an old crumbled roadway that will improve a little bit, clean up a little bit. We'll pave to the, if you can look at the 1, 2, 3, 4 orange connections onto Fano Drive from the school site, we'll be paving just beyond the 4th one for the school entrance and stopping there, and there'll be a gate that will be accessible for emergency vehicles. The rest of that connects with Sumner Ave, at the other end will be for emergency vehicle access. And there was some discussion at the FinCom about, the desire of some to actually pave it all the way and improve. It's certainly something that can be discussed in the future. We can't do anything if we don't do the land transfer to start. And there are obstacles to it. And also, I would just point out, there's a difference between paving a driveway and a roadway. Roadway is much more expensive, much more extensive. So for right now, what we're doing is what's within our means and what's within our project mandate, which is to build a school. So, and that's the sum and total of what we're trying to do. Unless I missed anything, I don't want to take all of your night. I'd rather take questions.
Thank you. Questions over here? Well, why don't you
want me to
ask,
start?
just ask your questions.
How'd you know I had questions? That's fine. Dave Lurie.
I'm psychic.
Through you, Madam Chair. I
Yes.
do have questions. So on this, the actual project as it, and by the way, everybody who's been paying attention to this for the past 2 years knew that this was going to be the first change order. This thing that was passed was a ridiculous idea to do Haynes Road, so that it makes total sense that you'd be here. So I don't question why you're here. It makes total sense. However, what I want to know is does the school itself move at all from where it was originally approved? When it was approved, it's going to be in a fixed spot.
Yes.
And when you get this thing passed, is it in the same exact spot?
Yes.
Okay. So my concern on this is really around how you're doing this. So you're not the petitioner because you said it was a select board is a petitioner, correct?
By necessity, the building committee doesn't have any authority to say we want to transfer or receive land.
No, they don't.
So
But you're not the petitioner. It's
no, the select board is. We can speak to the. Look, we know, and you have 3 people from the project team sitting here because we know there will be questions on the project itself when the articles themselves are just land transfer articles. So we're
You're
prepared.
the experts for the select board.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're going to answer your questions.
Got
I
it.
should also point out, we've scheduled on October 16th, right? October 16th, an online forum for town meeting members to answer any and all questions about the project itself that will be generated from these articles coming in forward. And we're going to do that anyway, and we will do an in-person forum later, probably in November, but that's for town meeting members.
Do you have an understanding of the cost? You obviously knew the cost to do the project as it was already designed, correct, with the way that it was going to get access. You knew what that was going to cost, because you said with the cost of bridges and the Haynes Road access and all that. So you knew what that cost was, and you know what we're not going to have to pay because of not doing that. So do you know what the new cost is for doing the partial road on this tract of land as opposed to that? What is the new cost after we take the credit off of the cost on the already approved, the one that's already in place.
Not to a penny. We can say definitively that it will have a positive effect on the budget.
No, I know the positive effect
but
on the
what-
budget.
let me-
I'm asking what's it cost for that portion of the project?
Yeah, if I can. So
That's,
The whole-
excuse me.
Sure.
That's beyond the scope of these two articles. That's a future, perhaps,
So
article.
I'll get right to the point then. I'll get right to the
Well,
point.
make
for you.
sure it's
I'll get right
to the
as
point of
to why.
Article 13
It
or
is,
14.
It is. In the motion, Madam Chair, in the motion, it says that the February 3rd, 2025 town meeting, the South Elementary School appropriation vote. It's in the motion. So what they're saying is that even though we get a discount on the poorly designed road, the better road and the costs associated with it, even though we're getting a discount, we're going to incur a cost. That cost is getting rolled up into that vote, which has got a 20-year term.
There are no costs in Article 13 or 14.
No, they have it baked into the motion, which says you're going to be borrowing for that project for 20 years. And by the way, it is the select board that's going to take it. And why are we discussing a partial road when it's the select board's decision to do a half road or a full road? That was obviously what was discussed at the Finance Committee meeting.
No.
But why is it that the town has to pay 20 years for that portion of the road?
Where am I? I must not be looking at the right place.
you say road, it's not a road. It's designed to road, Mark, kick me if I misstate this. It's designed to roadway specs, but it's a driveway to the school until the town decides they want to make it a roadway.
Yeah, right on point. Yep.
This is being rolled into the cost of the project that you're putting together for the MSBA
But David,
and
David,
debt exclusion vote.
Let me explain. So over the course of a project and Eric, you can step in too. Over the course of an MSBA project, any MSBA project, we'll get this project priced out by cost estimators probably 4 times at least. 4 times at least. We're in the process. When you asked what are we taking off the price by virtue of not building those bridges, we're in the process of figuring that out now in a broader context of what the project costs. All we know right now is it will be some measure less, and it will certainly be inside the appropriation amount.
But through you, Madam Chair, because this is being done through the debt exclusion, what is the cost of that portion of the project that's in the motion?
Where are you reading this from?
It's in the motion, proposed motion. I move that the town take, accept as gift, or otherwise acquire, and then it goes on to the bottom, effectuate said acquisition, and further amend Article 1 of the February 3rd, 2025 town meeting, in parentheses, the South Elementary School appropriation vote.
There's nothing
Dave,
about cost in this.
If I may, the only thing that this article is doing, this article, just because it mentions the Article 1 of the February 3rd, 2025 town meeting, does not mean that it somehow includes all of the details of that meeting. This is or of that article. This article is only amending that article insofar as it involves this land swap. So
do I still have the floor?
No, you don't have the floor. I'm ruling you out of order. There are no costs involved in either of these articles.
To me, it's an improper motion
Well,
because it's
you
a
can take
select
that up
board.
with, you can take that up with the moderator on the night of town meeting, but you're not
The
going to take it up
the
at
select board-
municipal operations.
I am not
I
going to
can
vote in
also add-
favor because
Well,
this is a
that's
select
fine,
board
If I
but
project,
I'm ruling you out of
and
order.
not a debt exclusion
I'm
project. It's a
I'm
select
ruling
board
you out of
project.
order.
Well, I'm
Mr.
maybe
Laurie,
I'm-
Means
please,
that you stop
Mr. Laurie, please
speaking
pay
or leave
attention
the
to the
room.
chair. Thank you. Thank you both.
Through
Madam
the-
Chair, go ahead.
Through the chair, town council has reviewed that also.
Why don't we go to, if there's any questions on this side? What about, oh, I'm sorry, Noah. If you mention money, you're out of order.
Thank you. No, I don't want to litigate anything. I'm very much in favor of these articles. I'm just curious if you can very briefly explain. I'm curious about that belt around the property that is being swapped away, and what potential uses the town would have for owning this weird little sliver of land.
I love the question. I appreciate it. That was actually created, that idea of that was created by myself and my team for the pure purpose of protecting whatever, you got residential houses and you have our other school property and some other houses on that side as like a natural buffer in perpetuity to protect whatever goes. Say there's a, I'm literally throwing darts at a board here. A solar array goes over there. There's an electric line down the middle. Maybe a solar array is a good use over there. Some people don't like the way solar arrays look, so now we have about 100, I believe it's 100 or 75-foot buffer at its narrowest point and wider near the other properties. So it's permanent. And that was the only reason for that. We wanted to create a buffer, and the width of that buffer, I subtracted it, and the remaining land is what we presented to the property owners, and they were okay with that.
Thank you so much. That makes a tremendous amount of sense.
Anything else from this side? Anything else from online members?
No, Madam Chair.
I'm opening up to the public. Any member of the public have a question or comment on Article 13 or Article 14? Online, member of the public?
Nothing, Madam Chair.
Okay, so we will move on. Thank you, gentlemen, for your presentations.
Good job, guys.
Oh, goody. Demolition of the State Theater. $1 million. Is the seat getting warm?
It's a little
Would you
warm.
make your presentation on
Sure.
demolition of the theater, please?
Thank you. Mark Tisdale, Assistant Town Manager, Town Engineer. I will keep this very simple. The State Theater, we all know where that is. It's right in the downtown, one of the tallest buildings, the brick building.
Next to avocados.
Right near avocados. Very good point. Over the series of the last 2 years, our building commissioner has visited the site along with our fire department and has noticed some issues with the property inside and outside. Inside, there was a lot of storage of different materials in there that made it a huge fire hazard, along with some electrical wiring and lack of fire protection. On the outside, there's 2 large structural cracks. There was several notifications of the building commissioner to the property owner to alleviate these issues. Get structural engineers involved, clean out the stuff inside. I believe some of that has been cleaned out, but the bigger issue is the fire code issues and the structural cracks. That building shares a lot of abutting walls with other buildings in the area. A lot of the joists that go in that building are shared through the other buildings. So if there was a fire, the whole block goes up at once. And again, there was 3 or 4 letters, I believe, that they're back up in the material you received to the property owner. There was never a response, to the best of my knowledge. The selectmen, as of recently, took into account those letters sent by our building commissioner with our fire chief backing it up, and did a recent public hearing and a vote of condemnation to the property occurred, which is much more serious than just deeming the property unsafe to utilize. It's pretty much saying the building needs to be raised and come down. Obviously, the town would rather have the property owner do that or fix the issues, like it was mentioned previously. None of that has happened, so the only avenue is for the town to do it. Unfortunately, it's more expensive for the town to do it than the property owner, so we would always prefer the property owner to do that work. The article's for $1 million. The way that would work is the property would be demoed, all the assessments would be done, and that would be liened on the property. So we would get that paid back eventually. If they did not pay their taxes, that would go into tax title, and we would acquire the property that way. This is not the acquisition of a property. This is a demo of a building. but I'm just going through the, I guess, the worst-case scenario if taxes were not paid. And in a nutshell, that's what this article is about. We got a public safety issue there. It needs to be addressed, and the selectmen and town manager have made it a goal to get this addressed sooner than later.
So we'll start over on this side. Noah?
Sorry, I can tell I'm going to be talking too much. I just want a little bit of clarification because I think I understand what you're saying, and I want to rephrase it and make sure that I got it right. So we are not acquiring the property. We are paying for the demolition because it has to be demolished in order to protect the other adjoining properties. And because that is urgent and the property owner is not willing to do it themselves, we are fronting the cost. However, we are going to be essentially sticking them with a bill for that, and if they do not pay, if they being the property owner, if they do not pay back, reimburse us for the upfront cost that we are putting in to demolish, then the property itself will go to us because that's how liens work. Yes?
In a nutshell, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Right on point.
Anyone else on this side? Yes, John.
Well, thank you, Noah. You asked one of my questions. Now, once the building comes down, it's going to be rebuilt into another theater? Or,
That's to be determined.
And you have
Right now, we're talking about the demolition of a building. What goes up there later would probably have to comply with zoning. So there's a lot of allowed uses in our zoning bylaws. It could be a theater, could not be.
so basically, we're going to have another hole in the center, like we did before.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so that you got to weigh out the public safety issues with just having a graveled site. Yep.
Why can't we get in contact with the owner? I mean, is he just ignoring us?
So the first time, I actually made a phone call last week. Actually, might be 2 weeks ago now, and I did get in contact with the owner. Actually, the owner's son, and it happened to be the owner was in the car with the son when I called up. So I was like, all right, this is good. This is pretty good. And I explained to him what's going on. I just wanted to make sure they understood what was going on. They got mailings, and a lot of legal words are in these letters. So I said, in a nutshell, this is what's going on. The building's going to, there's an article at town meeting to take your building down. And they're like, I knew there was a hearing, we couldn't make it, whatever. But what came out of the story that I took out was they've actually understood the situation. They were planning forward. They already hired an engineer, and they were talking and getting into details about the sharing of the joists between buildings and how they can't just knock it down. They have to come up with a phased plan where they disconnect the joist and secure the other buildings first, and then the demolition of the building can happen. And they were getting into some details, so I knew they weren't just throwing a dart at the board. They actually probably are in the process of hiring an engineer. And I told them, I said that, the biggest benefit would be for you to show town meeting that prior to town meeting, for you to pull a demolition permit, first of all, number one, and second of all, start some of that step one work that you were just referring to. And then, who knows, I mean, maybe town meeting wants to just take a back seat until the annual town meeting to see if progress continues, or if they may just move forward. But something should happen.
Well, I was a little confused because, people say it was a renovation project, and now he's saying it's a demolition project. I'm learning tonight that we're talking demolition, not renovation.
No, this would be demolition, yep.
So, there is a difference between the two.
Oh, definitely.
You have a cost. I know it's going to cost $1 million to bring it down, but how much would it cost to? I know that's not fair to ask at this point, but you have a figure in mind how much a new theater would cost?
I've seen old cost estimates of $12 to $15 million range to renovate and reestablish the theater. It may be higher or lower now. I'm not quite sure.
So we're not eligible for any grants or anything because you've turned the building down?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you.
Yes?
Thank you, Madam Chair, through you. David Lurie. So it's not eminent domain. It's going to be it's private property now. It'll be property, it remains private property. By right, they have certain zoning rights to do or get special permitting if they want to get something different. So it's not in our hands. All we're doing is the work of demolishing. And I just didn't know whether there was actually, beyond just the engineering, were they making it safe? Did they clean out all the stuff that was a fire hazard? Do we have enough knowledge since the last time we were in there, in April, I think was said, to know that, hey, it's not going to necessarily be as much of a hazard as it was when we started the ball rolling?
Yeah. I don't have an answer to that as opposed to the stuff that was inside, but we do know the fire code issues have not been addressed because, and the structural issues have not been addressed because a permit would have to be pulled with the building department to address those issues. Those are the, quite frankly, the bigger issues. The stuff inside is a big issue. If it caught on fire, definitely an issue, but the structural cracks and the other fire code issues are also just as important.
Did Noah had an additional element?
Yeah, sorry. Considering that we're expecting to end up with, as John said, a hole for a while, what is the term of the lien? How long can we expect that to stay a hole before either they redevelop it or it becomes our property to develop?
Right. So the lien would go on. I don't know the period of years, 10, 20 years, whatever the standard is. I don't have the answer to that question. But if they wanted to pull a permit to build a new building, the existing lien would have to be paid off at that point before a permit's being issued. So to me, the thing doesn't just sit there for 20 years. I mean, the motivation is to develop something on that piece of property.
Massachusetts has very strong property rights. As long as the site is secure, just like the site over there that's being developed, it can be like that in perpetuity. You pay your taxes, you fence it off, it's your baby. The town can't just take it away from you unless town meeting votes eminent domain. But I can't see anyone who has any kind of common sense leaving such a prime site in Stoughton Square a mess. One of the reasons why that building wasn't developed sooner is because it went through 3 different owners. Someone inherited it, somebody died, somebody sold it to someone else. And it takes a long time to develop things. But my big issue is the fire hazard. I've lived in Stoughton longer than anyone in this room. The Universalist Church burned down in 1965. The corner of Wyman and Washington was a 3-story building. Now it's a Chinese restaurant. That burned down. There's been a number of fires around the square, and the most serious one was what we call the town hall parking lot was a rooming house, and a Stoughton firefighter died in that fire trying to make sure that all of the residents got out. A fire in the middle of your town is just too awful to contemplate. Obviously, our firefighters would not go inside the theater. It's been condemned, but it's still cheek to jowl with avocados and all of the other businesses there. It's just, and people go, oh, well, I'm extreme. If you go by the building, there's graffiti up on the 2nd and 3rd floor. That means younger people than I are climbing up there to do that. And the problem with that is that some people have a fascination with fire.
See, I'd long suspected it was you who did it.
And it only takes... I have been inside the building. I was part of the group that tried to save it. But that was almost 20 years ago. And unfortunately, no wealthy individual came forward to rescue our cinema like they did in Norwood. There just isn't that kind of money in Stoughton. You might remember that they had a matching grant from CPC. We couldn't match it. There's a lot of nostalgia attached with that. I mean, it was built in 1928. I started going to it when I was a very young child. A lot of people have pleasant memories of that place, but the last time I was inside, the ceiling was leaking, water was infiltrating through the walls, and the plaster was falling. The facade pieces of the facade have actually fallen onto the sidewalk. It's sad, but it's real life.
If I can ask one more question, assuming that this article passes, when do we expect the demolition to take place?
Yep. I'm sure there's going to be a legal process that occurs at least 30 to 60 days in that range before the process can occur. There's going to be a notification requirement, again, going through that whole process. Obviously, if we have to start from the beginning again and hire an engineer to go through everything like they apparently are doing right now, that will be time consuming. Could be 2-3 months at least, I would think, because that's kind of a complicated situation. So we'd have to get a bid spec together, engineering plans together, and a phased approach of how we demo it before we demo it.
Excuse me, Mark, can you get closer or find another mic? I can't hear. It's not.
Yep. How's this sound? All right.
That sounds
Boy,
great.
you gotta like almost get your mouth on this thing. Now, just to repeat what I said, Dave, as opposed to the time frame, how quick we could get this done. There is a legal process we do have to continue and go through, but at the same time, the more lengthy thing is actually completing the bid specs and engineering designs of how you actually demo this building, which could take a little bit of time, 2-3 months in that range, maybe more.
Any members online with questions? Okay.
Have we used this process for like danger and unsafe structure? And is there like typically a time frame they want to see it come down? Because I know you talked about if the owner is kind of working on it themselves, giving them some time, but how long would we want to wait?
You're Cheryl,
Back
right?
and forth. Cheryl Iverson, yeah.
Thank
Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good question, Cheryl. I think personally, and this is just my opinion, I mean, step one was they told me they were working on it. I'm okay. Step two is show me something before. There's no reason why you can't pull a demolition permit before town meeting. And while you're doing that, have detailed discussions with the building commissioner of how you're thinking of doing it. It's not just submitting a piece of paper. You got to have the details of how you're going to demo this, right? So I think as long as the owner is continuing to move forward, why would we interject ourselves? That's my personal opinion. We still have the annual town meeting come up, which is not that far away. It's in May. So as long as they continue to move forward with hiring the engineer, having the engineer prepare the bid specs, then to me, I think we would put a little bit of a pause on it. But the key thing is I need to actually see something. Like I want to see a permit. I want to see the plans. I want to see something tangible.
Any other questions?
So if we passed this article, or is this another one of these articles that we pass and then you get to hold on to it and kind of hold it over their heads if need be? Or is this something where we pass it and now you are committed to demolishing the building ourselves?
Yep.
That question was from Noah.
Yeah,
Sorry, Noah Beta Havon.
we don't reveal our legal strategies.
Yeah.
Yes, John.
But
I have another comment, Madam Chair, if you don't mind.
But are we then required to demolish it if we pass the article?
I'll just answer that question. We are definitely not required to do it.
Okay.
Just like any article you approve at town meeting, unless it's a mandated situation, we're not required to.
So we're just authorizing it.
Yep.
Yes, John.
I personally would like to see another theater go in there, but for a lot of other factors such as parking, and are we going to build a theater just to show movies? The cost, the cost outweighs, to me personally, outweighs that. So as much as I would love to see a theater, I go to Norwood Theater, and I look around, I say, boy, this would be nice in Stoughton, but they have the space, they have the parking.
Right.
So just being realistic.
Yes.
Hi, Peter Machula. I've got a quick question for you. I don't understand how condemned buildings exactly work. Since it's been condemned, is there a chance for them to do repairs and get it uncondemned?
Yes.
That is something
Yes,
that could theoretically happen.
They could come back to us and reverse the process if needed, but it sounds like they agree with the process as they have hired an engineer to go through the process of coming up with plans to demo it.
To actually demo. Okay, thank you.
Anyone, a member online?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anyone in the public? Public online?
No,
Okay, we'll
Madam Chair.
Move on to
Excuse me, Madam Chair. Can I make a suggestion? We have a volunteer from the Conservation Commission, Jerry McDonald. It looks like he's last. Could we move him up so that he doesn't have to wait, or did you want to? I know it puts the assistant town manager at a disadvantage, but
Yeah, honestly, if I had eyes in the back of my head, I would have made the same recommendation.
pardon me.
I would.
Never mind, Madam Chair.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he would have spoken to the chair. So now we're on to Article 16. Purchase of 30 Porter Street property for town parking. Most of you probably know that they recently demolitioned the house at 30 Porter. And well, I guess you can present it, but is there a cost yet?
We're getting close. We do have a draft appraisal, but the other part of the process is reviewing the appraisal to make sure it's accurate. And the other thing is having a discussion with the property owner to make sure they're okay with the appraised value being the value, or if they want to negotiate a different value. So that will all be happening within the next week. Like I said, I did receive a draft appraisal. I really don't want to disclose the value yet until I review the appraisal and it becomes an official appraisal without my edits. But if it's okay, I can go through a little bit of what I went through the other night.
You have a right to make your presentation as the petitioner.
All right, thank you very much. Just a little history. As you know, Cynthia just mentioned the building is down, which was a big positive thing. The building was in poor condition at best. In 2023, if you remember, there was an article at town meeting to do exactly what you have here now. It was to purchase the property. It included at that time to take the building down. That was a big bone of contention. A few people did not like the idea that we were paying to take the building down. There was another part of the project back then when we were saying, well, we need about 15 to 20 parking spaces for our police station that we're going to build in the future, whenever, but we didn't have a feasibility study completed to prove that. So that was another issue with it. So you had the building coming down was an issue, the feasibility study not being completed was an issue. And then the third part, we were saying, well, this really blends in well with our town hall parking lot project that we have, but it was really just a conceptual parking lot project at that time. It wasn't designed or funded by town meeting. Now you have a town hall project that thank you, town meeting, for approving last year for $1.2 million to redo all the parking and the landscaping, accessibility issues around town hall. And now we know exactly how this, exactly to this kind of accuracy, because we have it surveyed, how acquiring that property next door will blend in. If it's okay, I would hand out a colored map to everybody if you got a couple minutes. Okay. So this little map here, this builds upon the town hall plan that we've already done, the designed plan that's fully designed. And you can see the red box, right? So you got town hall, it's pretty clear, it's labeled town hall. You've got the Pearl Street is labeled on one side and Porter Street. And everything in yellow is what's going to be changed, and you can see all the new parking spaces and things like that. The red hatched area on the plan is the parcel we're referring to right now, 30 Porter Street. By acquiring 30 Porter Street, you can see on the actual property you get maybe 12 parking spaces. But because we're acquiring that property and doing it at the same time as the town hall property, we pretty much can make things much more efficient. By doing that, we're getting 18 additional parking spaces. Yep, because you get those 3 parallel spaces near the building. I can see Noah, he's thinking over there. You get the 12 on the property, you get another 2 above that. And by shifting the drive aisle over into that other property, you're actually creating another on-street parking space. Think about that, right? And then you're also creating another parking space or 2 on that Porter Street side inside the town hall, because everything's moving, the drive aisle is moving over, so you're able to add parking spaces. That's where you get the 18 additional parking spaces. It's a lot when you think about, the entire back employee parking lot shown on this plan is about 20 parking spaces. The public parking spaces in the front is 8. So now you're getting 18 more in parking spaces. And I've had people ask us questions, well, there's 10 different ways to skin this, but what are the parking spaces going to be? They're going to be for town hall business. That's the primary purpose, town hall business. So there's times where there's a meeting in that room, there's a meeting here, there's a meeting downstairs, sometimes 4 meetings in different spots. And it's tough to find a parking spot, especially during finance committee meeting season. People are walking up and down the street, parking in the back municipal parking lot, and it's tough. So the primary purpose would be town hall business parking, and that's the goal of it. Again, because we're not going to be building a police station anytime soon. For those of you who don't know, the feasibility study is completed, and it's very, very expensive. That's maybe a discussion for another time, but it will get completed at some point in time. I mean, it has to get done. We don't know. It could be 3 years from now, 10 years from now. We don't know, but it will get done. And what we do know from that study is that the building is designed for future expansion, which is right on the same parcel where it is. But the parking is they were stuck with the property lines that they have there. And this is also including going into the back municipal parking lot. The parking they would be providing is for current day standards. So the two don't really mesh. And they're off by 15 the 20 parking spaces. So, I mean, I guess you'd rather be lucky than good, but when it was mentioned 2 years ago, it was the same number. It just happened to be about 15 to 20 parking spaces. So again, I mean, these parking spaces could be allocated towards the shift of some of those parking spaces over, but it gives you options, is pretty much what it does. You get 18 more parking spaces than you had before. And in a nutshell, that's pretty much the article. Unfortunately, like I said, I do not have the number for you yet, but in 2023, the town meeting article was $440,000, and that included demo of the building. The appraisal was $391 back then. Be happy to answer any questions.
Over here, questions? Yes, John.
Mark, those spaces along Porter Street, the 5 spaces, you said that those parking spaces are for town hall only. Well, you know the people are going to park there for the post office. And the same thing with the new parking spaces in red. You know, don't you think people are going to use those for the post office?
Well, they'll be signed,
Oh, they're gonna be-
and there's
okay.
ways we could secure it. Those details could come a little bit with gates and things like that if we wanted to get to
Okay.
that level. But they'll be signed. If somebody's parking there, there could be enforcement issues. I'm not sure how deep we would get into that, but we may just give warnings to start off, but I don't think we're there
Okay, I was just wondering.
issuing tickets type of business.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else on this side? Yes, David.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. David Lurie. It's a wonderful presentation. The idea is terrific. Without a number, you're basically saying, that it's so great that at any price, we're going to recommend thumbs up. This
I
is so
definitely do not
terrific
say that. No.
No, well, I mean, but
yes.
we're at the end of this hearing, we're going to close the hearing and then have to take a vote to say, gee, did we hate the project so much that we said no because at any price we can't just stomach a vote of in favor? You see, that's why I've always had a problem with articles that weren't ready. Like, why are they on some kind of like a, just kind of like temporary, they're sort of just waiting for something to happen to mature. I mean, are we supposed to hold this vote until a later time when the numbers do come in?
No, we're going to refer it.
Yeah, you see what I mean? It's
So first of all, we
problematic
apologize for that, Dave. We literally, I received a phone call 2 weeks to this day about this opportunity. And within that 2 weeks, already got an appraisal almost completed. And I hate the missed opportunity situation where if we, obviously, listen, you want to have the number. You definitely want to have the number. That's the number one thing. But if we just waited and you referred to the town meeting and we got a number, the discussions can happen at town meeting. And if the number was very favorable, then we didn't miss an opportunity. If we did not take this up now and 2 months from now went on the market and sold, and then we got a 6 or 8 unit building there, we missed an opportunity. So I thought it was worth at least putting it on the warrant. And yes, it's like a placeholder because we don't have the money, but I thought it warranted that kind of situation.
That's all I had.
On this side?
Yes. Christine Wilbur. I'm just wondering, when is the projected for the rest of this project to go forward? When is that going to ground break to do all that stuff?
It's something we think about every day on the second floor in engineering. I wake up at nighttime and saying, did I think about that? Did I think about that? So it's actually, the plans were, I want to call 99% done. And we were going to go out to bid at the end of September. This came up. I just put a pause on it. The construction can happen in the spring. In ways we may get better bid prices if we put the thing out for bid in January, so people start, December, January, something like that. People can start planning their next year's projects. So there could be a benefit to holding off on it, but that's the general time frame. Now that we've delayed it, it won't go out for bid now. It will be in the spring.
Thank you.
Online? Any members online?
No, Madam Chair, no.
Members of the public? Members of the public online?
None, Madam Chair.
Okay. On to Article 17. Accept donation of 5 parcels of land off Mill Street.
All right, that would be me too. 5 parcels of land off Mill Street. These are the 5 parcels that the property owner actually reached out to us 2 or 3 months ago asking if the town was interested in these parcels. We get about $5,000 in taxes every year from them, so we do get a little bit of taxes from them. They're mostly wetland pieces of property. If you look at the overlays between wetlands, flood zones, streams, things like that, they're just unusable. There's a little tiny piece that you might be able to do something on it, but it's negligible. The property also has the main sewer trunk line that ties all our sewage into Canton, goes through this property. So by acquiring these properties, there's a huge benefit of actually having direct access to that property without any legal issues. Although we do have an easement, owning the property just gives you the ability to do a little more work on your own property if you had to dig up the sewer pipe as opposed to staying within the easement. The other big benefit that I see is the bad curve in the road on Mill Street, are you all familiar with that? Is right there. It's literally right in the middle of where these 5 parcels are. So you could actually, not that we're going to jump on flattening the curve in Mill Street right away, but it gives us the ability to look into that, cost it out, and flatten out that curve. It's kind of like a compound curve there on Mill Street, and now you could technically flatten that out. So for those benefits, I think it's well worth it. You get the flattening out the curve on Mill Street potentially, and you have direct access to your sewer main trunk line on the parcel.
Thank you. Questions on this side? Noah?
Noah Beta Ron. I'm just interested because you said that the parcels are essentially wetland and can't be touched in terms of development. Would flattening out the curve of the road damage the wetland in any way?
Yeah. Yes, it would damage the wetland, but we would be required to mitigate the wetland. So the requirements of the DEP is anytime you fill in a wetland, you got to replicate it twice. So we would have to comply with our own rules and the state's rules on all that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else on this side? Over here? Okay. On members online?
None, Madam Chair.
Anyone in the public? Public online?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay. Drum roll, please. Article 18.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mark Tisdale.
Thank you. Do you mind if I sit up here with you, Jerry?
I'd love it.
All right.
And we want to thank you, Mr. McDonald, for your incredible patience.
Thank you. Let me know when you're ready. I'm sorry? You're ready. All right. Hi, Jerry McDonald, Chair of the Stoughton Conservation Commission. And what you have before you is a CPC article
Excuse me, 1 second. We just have to kind of announce it. It's Article 18, Historic Foundation, Stone Walls Preservation at the Bird Street Conservation Area. Just for the people online, so they know. Thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
No
Jerry.
problem. Very good. So yes, this is a Conservation Commission article seeking CPC funding, town meeting approval. Near the Bird Street entrance, you have a couple of fields that were the historic bird farm. And about 200 yards in from the street was the barn, and the foundation is there, severely grown over. For years, folks like myself and Dwight McCarran of the Historical Society have, this thing go off? All right. Have desired to have that foundation be accessible. So this article is designed to clear out the vegetation. At some point in time, there actually was dumping over the wall of the foundation, which is fairly high. And to get in there, get access, clean out the debris, clean out the trees and the vines so that the foundation will be accessible for folks to view. And there will also be work in adjacent stone walls, so they're accessible. So that's what we're proposing. There was recently a trail grant that the Stoughton was awarded through the efforts of Mark here, was very instrumental in that. And that work has been done and very well received out there. As part of the trail grant, there was a small parking area that has been constructed. It's not open just yet, but that included an ADA compliant path from the parking area to the Veterans Monument that is out there. And what we decided to do on this project is to extend that ADA compliant path probably about 150 feet to the top of this foundation wall. There will be fencing so people won't roll over the top or anything, but so that was added to it during the process of review. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions from this side? Yes, David.
Thank you, Madam Chair. David Lurie. This is different than the barn that came up last year. There was the barn.
Definitely a different barn.
Yeah, different barn because this is down over on the other side with the bird conservation area. So, yeah, I only had one question. Other than that, I guess, was clearing a lot of this material and stone walls and work like that. We've seen the Boy Scouts be able to do a lot of work. Have you approached the Troop 516 to do anything with a project like this, or did they ever come to Conservation Commission to ask about projects they could potentially do for an Eagle project?
Yeah, we have had a number of Eagle projects out in the various conservation lands. Actually, we have approved one recently in the vicinity of where this work is to put in some benches. So we do work with the Scouts. The degree of vegetation that needs to be knocked down and cleared through is not handwork, it's machinery work. So I don't think that's really lends itself to a Scout project.
No, they're not allowed to use machinery.
This side? Anyone? Online, members?
None, Madam Chair.
The vast audience, please line up at the mic. Thank you for your presentation.
Don't forget, you got to ask the public online in case there's anybody.
Oh, there's public online?
There could be.
Public online,
I don't see anybody.
going once?
Yep. Well,
Okay.
no
my,
public comment then.
Obviously, my attention was piqued by the construction of a handicapped accessible walkway. And as I've said on more than one occasion, when we create these accessible walkways, it's not handicapped accessible in my mind, it's universal accessibility. If you have a child that roller skates, if you have a child on a bicycle, if you have children in a stroller, this is for everybody. It isn't just for those of us with canes and walkers and wheelchairs. It's for everyone. And they can't, and I realize the expense of making an entire park of acres of land accessible, but the fact that we make part of it accessible means that families with members that have disabilities can still enjoy the parkland, maybe not all of it, but they get to share some of the delights of being outside. And some people might be interested a little in archaeology and Old Stoughton. I don't have to leave my property to see stone walls and foundations, but a lot of people do. And it's a great way to introduce kids to the fact that there was life before the internet. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank
Have
you
a
very
great
much.
night.
Very well done.
Now, folks, it's 9:30, and I know that there are folks that don't sleep till noon. As long as we can maintain a quorum, which is 5, we can vote. So if you're one of those folks that's getting up at dawn and you have commitments, please don't feel that you have to stick around. As long as 5 of us are here, Mr. Moderator, as long as 5 of us are here or online.
Correct.
As long as we maintain a quorum. So I don't want anyone to feel that I'm forcing them to stick around way past their bedtime.
Can I make a motion to close the public hearing?
Of course you may.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second. And we'll vote on closing the public hearing. Cheryl Iverson?
Yes.
John DeStefano?
No.
Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Oh, to close the public, okay.
Peter?
Yes.
You changing your vote, John?
Yes, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
I'll try to slow down a little. We're closing the public hearing. Peter?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Patricia?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
And Noah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we're just going to go in order. As I said previously, if the financial information isn't there to our satisfaction, and to avoid having to come back another time, we can always refer to town meeting, and our reasoning would be there wasn't sufficient financial information. And this has happened in the past. We know this. You go to town meeting and they have the numbers. I know FinCom is meeting in October for 3 of the articles, but I really don't feel we should have to alter our schedule to their lack of preparation. But that's the chair's comment, and obviously you folks have your own rights and opinions. Could I have a motion on Article 6, water main improvements?
Motion to pass the Article 6, water main improvements.
It's motion to, it should be, Madam Chair, you want to correct that motion for him? Motion to recommend approval of the town meeting.
Recommend approval to town meeting for Article 6, water main improvements.
Second? Any discussion? Because it's a hybrid meeting, we do have to call the roll. I'll ask Mr. Moderator to keep track of the votes for me, please. Thank you. Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
David? Patricia?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
And Noah?
Yes.
Unanimous.
So that was unanimous. I'm trying to keep notes myself.
Okay, Madam Chair, motion to pass to town meeting for approval the annual roadway paving program on Article 7.
Second? Oh, who else said second? Okay, John, I want John to get credit for that. I'm just
John, you get the
obviously
credit.
trying to speed things along. So any discussion on the road paving? Okay, ready for the vote. Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Patricia?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Another one unanimous.
Another unanimous. Okay.
Motion to recommend to the town meeting Article 8, purchase of a sidewalk tractor.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the sidewalk tractor? Okay.
Bob, I'm sorry, it's Katie. Could you just have people announcing who's making these motions?
Oh, I'm sorry. Noah Beta Haron made that motion on
Thank you.
Article 8.
And who made the original motion, or the motion for Article 7?
That was
Dave
David
made.
Lurie.
David Laurie. Thank you.
Okay, we'll try to remember to say our names before we do that, out of
Thank you. I
respect for our
appreciate it.
secretary. All right, we are voting to recommend approval. Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Patricia?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay. Noah Beta Haron, motion to recommend Article 9 for approval by town meeting.
Second.
John DeStefano seconded that.
And this is the,
This is unforeseen repairs for the community center.
We're recommending approval. Any discussion on that?
Yeah, I'm just going to abstain on this. I'm not in favor of the way they're funding it through stabilization, so I'm going to abstain, because I'm in favor of the work, I just don't like the way they framed the motion.
All right, so that's an abstention for Mr. Laurie. Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Patricia?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
And Noah?
Yes.
Okay, so that is 8 to 0 to 1 to show the abstention. So that motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, Noah Beta Aaron, I'm going to make a motion to recommend Article 10 to the town meeting. That is repairs for ADA compliance to town buildings.
I'll second that. Discussion on the ADA? Okay. Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Patricia?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
And Noah?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, Noah Beta Aaron again. I'm making a motion to recommend approval of Article 11 at town meeting.
Second.
This is purchase of voting machines.
Who seconded that?
Christine Wilbur.
Okay.
Any discussion on the voting machines? So we're ready to vote our recommendation of approval. Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Patricia?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
And Noah?
Yes.
Unanimous.
You guys are good. I can't even write that.
And a point of order, we still do Articles 13 and 14 as separate motions.
Yes, you have to vote them separate. Correct.
All right, in
Madam
that
Chair.
case, Noah Beta Aaron, I'm going to make a motion that we recommend approval of Article 13 at town meeting.
They gotta put a note
Cynthia
in it.
Walsh, second. Any discussion on this one? Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
Madam Chair, I am abstaining. Can you put a note in with this article that I'm abstaining? I recused myself from the next two articles.
Yes, sorry, I forgot about that. So, let's see. Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
David?
No.
Patricia?
No.
Christine?
Yes.
And Noah?
Yes.
Okay, just give me a moment here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yes, 2 noes, and 1 abstention.
No.
Okay, I got that. 6 yes, 2 noes, 1 extension. That equals 9.
So the motion does pass.
It does pass, excuse me, yep. Motion passes.
Okay, Noah Beta Aaron, I am...
Excuse me, Noah.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
I appreciate
I'm just
what
trying
you're
to move it
do.
along. Go for it.
But Mr. Moderator, in the book, are we going to note the vote or just passed or whatever?
Oh, we're going to note the vote.
Okay.
All votes.
I just wanted your members to know that those of you who vote in the minority, it will be in the book, so that sometimes town meeting members say, I want to know why those 2 people voted no.
Right.
And you won't be named, but if you choose to speak, you will be recognized. So Noah.
Okay, Noah Beta Aaron, I would like to make a motion that we recommend Article 14 for approval by town meeting.
Cynthia Walsh, second. So our recommendation on 14 is proposed to be approval. Cheryl?
Yes.
John? Oh, excuse me, John is abstaining. Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
David?
No.
Patricia?
No.
Christine?
Yes.
And Noah?
Yes.
So the vote is 6 to 2 to 1. Motion passes. 6 yes, 2 no, 1 abstention.
Okay. This is Noah Beta Aron. I would like to make a motion that we recommend Article 15, demolition of the State Theater, for approval by town meeting.
Second.
That was John.
Sorry.
Any discussion on this item?
Yeah, I understand that there's good reason for that building to be taken down, and I have no interest in any public funds going into a property like that for a theater, you know, and it's a private property. I don't like having to spend our taxpayers' money on this thing, and I'm going to have to vote no, but I do want to keep after this property owner to make sure that place is safe, and I'm sure there's ways to do that. I know there's a fining process that they could fine the person. There's state laws available for us to get after them with penalties for not doing it. So I'm voting against the demolition of this, and I'm going to be just hoping that they do the right thing.
Okay, so we are going to vote now, and right now our recommendation is approval. Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
No.
Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
I'd like to abstain.
David?
No.
Patricia?
No.
Christine?
Yes.
And Noah?
Yes.
Okay, just give me a moment here.
6 to 3 to 1.
It was
I have
3 no's.
5 yes, 3 no, and 1 abstention. So that equals 9. Motion passes. 5 yes, 3 no, 1 abstention. Everybody agree with me on that one?
Yep.
Thank you.
This is Noah Beta Haron. Again, I would like to make a motion that we that we recommend Article 16, purchase of 30 Porter Street property for town parking, for approval by town meeting.
Is somebody seconding?
I'm sorry, what was that? Was that for approval or for?
Yes, I
Or
would like to make a motion that we are referring Article 16 for approval by town meeting.
Well, that's
for town meeting to
no.
vote on.
There's no refer.
Yeah.
You take out the word refer, and I think
Okay.
you're fine.
Yeah, let the chairperson just explain it.
No, I mean, you can approve, disapprove, or refer, but you can't do both. If we're going to refer it, we can put in our comment that because of lack of information.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Referring is something other than approving.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Then I just flubbed the language. So I would like to make a motion that we approve Article. I thought that we couldn't approve Article 16. That was for town meeting to do. What is?
That's
No,
that's a
you-
refer.
We can recommend approple.
Yes. Oh, okay. It's recommendation.
Yes,
okay.
these are
I would like
recommendations.
to make a motion that we recommend Article 16 for approval by town meeting. Yes.
That's fine. Is there a second?
John DeStefano seconds.
I'd like maybe a charter change might give us the power to actually do all the legislative work of the town.
Oh, let's not get into charter changes here.
John DeStefano has seconded that motion. So is there anyone with comments?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm going to be voting no because of 2 reasons. Both, there's no number, and secondly, because I don't want to use stabilization when we don't have to. The stabilization should be left whole, and there's plenty of room in the budget. There's, by the way, plenty of revenue, and there's plenty of room for debt service inside the budget. It shouldn't be stabilization. That's a protected source of funds not to be used for this kind of project. So for both reasons, I'm voting no.
Anyone else with a comment? Yes.
I think that I would rather refer because, well, I'll say no to recommending, because I'd rather refer, because I don't want another $23,000 parking space. Like, I know that was
That's
the
a no
original.
vote. That's
Yeah,
a
so
no
it's a
vote
no.
because it's
Yeah.
refer is a different motion.
Yes,
It's not on the
so-
table.
I would like to say that I will have to say no to that because I would prefer a referral rather than approval without a number in the books.
Well, if people wish to refer on this particular motion, they need to vote no.
Yes, that's fair.
One more, maybe a comment on my end. Since we are the Municipal Operations Committee, is our perspective supposed to come just, is this a good article for the town, how it operates? Because we have the Finance Committee, could they also be saying it makes sense money-wise? Where does our perspective come from as a committee?
Well, part of it may be done by town forces. So if it's done by town forces, it's a municipal operation.
I'm just saying, if we say, okay, yes, does that mean people still need to consider the amount when it comes to town meeting?
Madam Chair.
You're saying it's good for our overall operations to build
Yeah,
this.
Madam Chair, can I add a comment?
Well, I'd like to comment
Okay.
before you comment for a second time. I think what we're doing, if we refer it, what we're saying to the town officials is, get your act together before the public hearings. Don't come asking us to just approve a concept. I mean, we need more information. And over the years, we're kind of training them to do that. Because in the past, a lot of this was just, trust us. So, I mean, right now, the motion is to recommend approval. If you wish to recommend approval, then that's how you vote. Yeah.
Could I?
I'd like to say in general, because it's a great comment, because I think about those things too, and I do read the charter to understand what exactly is muni ops. I've been in Finance Committee for 9 years, so I had to reacquaint myself to exactly what is municipal operations do. When the reason everything comes back to money, because if you think about, if you depleted money for a project, it's that many less funds you have for something else that you may think is more of a priority for the town operationally. So when you deny funds or create funds, you're deciding priorities for the town operationally. So that's why money does matter.
The other thing is, we're talking about employee parking, and that's an operation of the employees can't operate if they have no place to park their cars.
I have a question for Bob, which is, can I save us some time and a roll call vote by withdrawing my motion?
It's up to the chair if she wants to take that.
If you wish to withdraw your motion, just say so.
Yes, I'm withdrawing my motion of approval.
The person has seconded also has to, right, Bob? Does
That's
that-
true. Well, I'm going to let the chair control that.
Well, who seconded it? Will you withdraw your second?
No.
Okay. So,
Okay, so we still
we're going to vote on the motion to approve, and if you don't approve of the motion to approve, vote no. Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cynthia votes no. Scott?
No.
Peter?
No.
David?
No.
Patricia?
No.
Christine?
No.
Noah?
Yes.
All right, just give me a moment. 3 yeses. 6 noes. Motion fails.
So we need, we need another motion.
Peter Machula, I'd like to make a motion to refer to town meeting Article 16.
Seconded.
Who seconded?
Noah.
Noah, okay. I'm doing this because the secretary is trying to.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, now the motion is to refer, and our reason for referral is lack of information as to the cost. Granted, we're not the Finance Committee, but we're also not in charge of just giving it away. Cheryl?
Oh, wait, we can't, there's no comment for a new motion?
I'm sorry, I made a comment, so of course, David, you may make a comment.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, David Lurie. I just want to emphasize the fact that you don't have to be in favor of referring if you're not happy with the fact that, A, there's no dollar number, but also because they're using a stabilization fund. So even if you refer and town meeting says, yeah, well, they didn't really have a comment because they didn't have enough information, we do have enough information, we're still approving their use of stabilization funds to do this. So by referring and saying yes to referring, you're saying it's okay to use stabilization money when they do vote at town meeting. So that's why I'm voting no on this.
Thanks. And you can make that point yourself when the article is heard. So we're voting now on a motion to refer for lack of information about the cost. Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
David?
No.
Patricia?
No.
Christine?
Yes.
And Noah?
Yes.
Well, the motion to refer.
Okay, Noah Beta Aron, I would like to make a motion that we, hold on, that we recommend Article 17, accepting the donation of 5 parcels of land off Mill Street to the town meeting.
Second.
I think you win.
Thank you.
Okay, discussion.
Yeah, this is Scott. Can you guys speak into the mics? I'm losing you all.
Sorry,
And
Scott.
I'm sorry again, too. Can you tell me who seconded that motion?
John DeStefano.
Oh, no.
It's Christine
I'm
Wilbur.
sorry.
Yeah.
You're right.
Vanilla
you.
second.
Don't apologize, John. Are we set to vote on our recommendation of approval?
I think so.
If somebody wants to give you something, you take it. Wrong list, Cynthia.
I mean, there's reason one might say no, which is that this is property that we're receiving tax funding from, and they want to give it away so that they don't have to pay taxes on it. However, I think we do get a greater benefit from the town owning the property than we would from collecting taxes on a property that is making a street less safe. So,
Yeah, and Madam Chair, I also want to add to what Noah said, is that the way they describe that property, it's kind of not right. You're taxing
Yeah,
somebody
I think
$5,000 a
I think
year
a
for
sewer
property they can
easement
never.
says it all.
Yeah, they can't use the property and we're taxing them. It's almost like
Yeah,
wrong.
absolutely.
There's something wrong about that, so.
Okay, so on our recommendation to approve, Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Patricia?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
And Noah?
yes.
Unanimous.
I thought that Patricia said no.
No, she said. Tricia, you said.
yes.
She said yes.
Yeah, everybody said yes.
Okay. Noah Beta Haron, I would like to make a motion that we recommend Article 18, Historic Foundation and Stone Walls Preservation at Bird Street Conservation Area for approval by town meeting.
And just a reminder that these funds are from the CPC.
John
Cheryl.
DeStefano seconds. Second.
John seconded it. Anyone else? I mean, not to second, but
To
to
third.
discuss or
Had a
comment.
long night.
All right.
Comments?
And I was just going to say, I love this work that they're doing at Bird. I think the Eagle projects are terrific as well. Would have been nice to see if they could have done more, but they can't because of the machinery. So I'm totally in favor of this article. I think it's a good idea. And I think restoring history in this town kind of goes with what I think should be happening. Hopefully the next generation comes back to liking history again. I know there was some generations that kind of lost that. So I'm hoping maybe they get re-energized to wanting to see more about history.
Well, I also think that parents discovered during the pandemic, when activities were so sorely limited, that a walk in the woods was not only safe, but it wasn't that bad.
And as someone who likes mushrooming, sometimes you find dinner. So.
Yeah, I just think, I mean, obviously I grew up on a farm, so 15 acres of woods and whatever. But it's so much more I think, for a lot of young people, just to see unbuilt areas, you know, when you live in a neighborhood where your neighbor you can hear their TV set. I mean, and about a quarter of the kids in Stoughton live in apartments. And I don't think you can call that little patch of grass between the parking lot and the building green space at all. So we need to know, kids need to know there's another way besides brick and pavement. On our last recommendation to approve, Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Patricia?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
And Noah?
Yes.
That motion passes. That was unanimous.
Last
thing we have to do.
A motion to close the meeting.
Motion to close the regular public meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, we're not.
Noah Beitaron, second.
You say adjourn, I say close the public meeting.
Well, we did do that already. So we closed the hearings. So I have to ask again. The motion is to adjourn. Cheryl?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cynthia, yes. Scott?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Patricia?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
And Noah?
Yes.
I want to thank.
That motion passes unanimous.
Yes, I want to thank everyone. We got a later start than we should have, and you still stuck with it, and I will not be seeing you on Monday.
Well done.
Thank